At Danner, we believe our beloved trails will always need footsteps to keep the paths from fading, and those journeys are often better when shared. The Women's Trail Trainer was built by women for women who embrace the outdoors. Rally your girls, lace up, and blaze the trail. Resurge midsoles provide next-level comfort, while Danner's Precision Fit technology offers more custom fit with optimal support. Breathe in the scenery and feel right at home in the dirt. Explore the Women's Trail Trainer at danner.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, the Champions Cup in rugby went down yesterday in France. And before the game, 3 skydivers were scheduled to deliver the match ball onto the pitch. Now, 2 of the 3 parachutists, they landed as scheduled. The third skydiver, not so lucky. He ended up, kind of stuck in the lights above the actual stadium, where he was left dangling for 20 minutes. Now, as a precaution, safety first, a bouncy castle from outside was positioned below him, but eventually he was freed by rescuers on a cherry picker. Now, the match was delayed for a total of 40 minutes. Meanwhile, the Wharton County Youth Fair Extreme Bull event in Texas, it started on time last Thursday. However, that did not prevent anything from going wrong. In this case, it was not a parachutist. It was a 24-year-old bull rider. He found out that a custom helmet and a Kevlar vest are a joke, particularly when the punchline is, a bull tramples you. The rider was thrown from a bull, and then the bull stepped on his neck. And let's just say that things ended poorly. Now, my first thought was, maybe my parents were in attendance. And I say that because the last 2 times they went to Cirque du Soleil, they witnessed tragic mishaps. We'll leave it at that. Hell, Miles and I, we were fortunate enough to go to a Super Bowl in New Orleans in person. So, of course, the stadium blacked out during the game. Good times, good times. And these are just some of the stories that we've come across, stories that left us with many questions we'd like to ask you in the form of a random question brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration. But this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. All of the shows, away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4,297. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeats. Exciting return of your guest is as good as mine coming up at 4:30. And today, our 2 categories. We have 10 major league ballparks that you need to visit.
That we must visit.
Well, they're saying that these are the 10 best. So a guy named Garrett Carr, he is a writer from Bro Bible. He visited every single baseball park in the United States.
Okay.
And he rated them subjectively. Which ones did he like the best? Which ones?
Just based on like food, sightlines, all the stuff.
Yeah. How convenient it is to being either downtown or a lot of these ballparks aren't in the middle of nowhere. Some are just must-sees based on the history involved in the ballpark. I think we know those. Other just the beauty of the ballpark, the sight line when you're looking out into the outfield as far as the city goes and everything else.
What's the name of Frisco's baseball park?
Used to be AT&T Park. I don't know what it is now.
I don't know what it is now.
That is a great ballpark, man.
It is.
Like clean sight lines. I forgot that the water's on the other side. We went there like 5 years ago. The game's kind of boring. So me and the wife were like, let's walk around. And then when we walk, in the outfield, I'm like, oh, God, right. I forgot the bay is right there. It was outstanding.
I have never been to a game in Wrigley, but I have been to the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And they had a Billy Joel was playing there for 2 nights that weekend that I was in town. Man, I had a great time just hanging out in Wrigleyville with all the people that were going to go to the concert. And as far as like a stadium that is in the middle of a really cool neighborhood in downtown, like that had everything to offer.
Yeah.
Wrigley's great, period.
Great places to eat, a lot of action going on the streets.
Oh, sure, man.
Streets shut down, people drinking beers outside. It was a cool environment, much the same as Petco Park down in San Diego.
It's a pretty decent park, man.
Where you're down in the gas lamp. We're fortunate here to have a stadium where you can be down in Pioneer Square, have some food down there, get some beers, and it's an easy walk over to the stadium. So a lot of those ballparks appear on this list.
I would think so, yeah.
And to be honest with you, baseball stadiums, like, for an example, the one that's in Atlanta, is just in the middle of nowhere. So it's not downtown.
Right.
It's kind of like Arlington. They kind of
I was going
built
to say Arlington sucks.
a town around this area of private land developers.
Around the parking lot, essentially.
Yeah, but once you get out there, you're kind of just out there. You're not really, it's like going to probably like Levi Stadium in San Francisco.
God,
you're going to watch the 49ers. You are out in the middle of nowhere. So I've got the 10 best Major League ballparks to visit. And we'll revisit the category of America's favorite hot sauce preferences. And they broke everything down by state and then came up with the top 10 hot sauces that are sold here in the United States. And honestly, they are incredibly regional as far as what people consider to be their tried and true hot sauce. And depending on where you live, you use something a little bit different as far as your hot sauce. And if you go to New Orleans, you're going to get one thing. You're going to get Tabasco. It's not that they don't have other options. It's just that is the tried and true. When you were in Louisiana, the Tabasco plant is downtown. You can smell it. Mm-hmm. You can smell them making that hot sauce.
Well, they use Tabasco like most people use ketchup. It is a dipping. It's just a condiment. It's not even like hot sauce to them. They're like, oh, you want hot? They got something for you, but like Tabasco, it's like a salt shaker or Heinz ketchup.
You can order beignets for breakfast. They'll bring out hot sauce with it because there's somebody out there that wants hot sauce on their donuts.
I don't think I found a hot sauce that I don't like. There are some I like better than others. There are some that are just too spicy for me to eat, but overwhelmingly, if you got hot sauce, I'll eat it.
Yep. So we have the top 10 hot sauces. Any idea here in Washington State? I'll give you one on the list that is the number one selling hot sauce here, which is completely different than California and different than Oregon.
Tapatio.
Tapatio is on the list. That is California.
Cholula?
Cholula is on the list. That is Oregon.
Sriracha.
We are a Frank's Red Hot Steak.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. All right.
That's
cool. That's the standard bearer, I think.
Figures in. So the categories today, again, Major League ballparks and hot sauce. Coming up with your guess is as good as mine at 4:30. And some good news for you. If you want to party, this is the week we do it, man. Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour. Stop number 3, Muckleshoot Casino with the reunited New Originals. Truth be told, they're practicing for the first time tonight and probably would spend a year or so since the breakup.
Yeah, practice tonight, practice tomorrow night, and boy, we hope it's good tomorrow night, because that's it.
Okay.
That is it.
It is a free show at 2 o'clock at Muckleshoot Casino.
That's what we're worth.
Hey, by the way, that casino is awesome. That room that you guys are going to
the Galaxy room is great, man.
It's a fantastic place to come down and hang out. We will have the Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager. Mm-hmm. We'll have the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven. We'll have the beer broths from Wooley's Famous Sausage and the roasted red salsa from our friends at San Juan Salsa Company. Basically, it's just a good excuse for a free show to come out and drink in the afternoon and join us as the Men's Room World Tour hits up Auburn for the Muckleshoot Casino and the reunited New Originals. Okay. Today is the day that we do our random question. Question 206-803-ROCK.
Guess who it is, Ted?
James.
James, welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
Okay, James.
How's it going, fellas?
We're doing great.
Happy Monday. Happy, beautiful, sunny Monday.
That's right.
Happy Monday. Yeah, no, it's beautiful outside.
All you got to do is go above the clouds. It's always the thing, like when you fly back to Seattle around that. Like if you go somewhere sunny, like we know what the weather is in Seattle. It's not a surprise, but like you go somewhere sunny, you get on the plane, it goes above the clouds. You kind of forget that rain even exists. Sky's blue. And then once they say, We're making our final descent into Seattle. I mean, the sky turns black. The plane starts rattling back and forth. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can see the flight patterns come in depending on how the airport's working. On Friday.
Every time.
On Friday, I saw Hawaiian Air fly in to Seattle. And I just thought, those are the saddest people on that plane.
Well, Friday wasn't so bad.
No, I know that, but
Friday was a decent day.
But they still know.
Yeah.
They still know what's going to happen. I mean, it might be a day or two, but they know.
Saturday was decent.
They know. I mean,
I would say it's like when I got back last weekend from Vegas. When we landed, it was sunny. And I was like, oh.
All right, man.
Okay. James, let's go with this question. What did you find in your home? What did you find in your home?
Well, I found, so I bought my 16-year-old daughter a pair of earrings, and she had lost one for about a couple years. We moved out of the apartment, and I happened to find the other one when we were moving the couches right behind it.
Were they expensive?
That's the first thing that comes. Yes, they were a couple $100.
Jeez, man.
Did she still have the other one?
She did.
Okay, all right. So that was a good move to find that.
Yeah, absolutely. And she kept them, and she still has them to this day. She's 22. So
okay, so for 6 years she's had them now. All right,
Yes.
You ever found anything weird in your house? Like you come home, there's a squatter, raccoon in the garage, anything like that?
No, nothing like that. No, nothing weird.
Okay.
All right, good for you, man. Actually, I was smoking last night, and I did not see this cat at first. This cat is kind of a dark gray, and it's misty outside. It's at night, and I hear them, wow, and then I see this little lumpy form, and there's like a hole in the fence between me and the neighbors. I call it the Silk Road because every animal cuts through that hole, right? Raccoons, coyotes, cats, dogs, you name it. So it's out there doing that thing. And first, I think it's looking at me. Then I realized it's looking through the fence. And I sat there about an extra 10 minutes because it never really descended into the fence, but I could hear another cat kind of making the sound back, right? And I'm like, I can't tell if they're about to fight or if this cat's in heat. And I really wanted to see what was going to happen, but it just went on too long. And I'm like, either fight or F, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
What are you going to do? It's not that it matters to me. I just want to know. That cat scared the piss out of me. I did not realize it was there.
The first house I ever got was an older Rambler, and one of the previous owners had redone the bathroom.
Yeah.
But not by any time recently. Like that house was built in the 1940s. They might have done it in the 1960s or whatever. But based on the newspapers, I found stuff in through the walls. So when I'm taking the drywall down and I'm taking the tile out, just basically gutting the thing, there were rags, T-shirts, balled-up newspapers.
So for insulation?
Yes. Like this
right.
guy did not buy insulation. It almost looked like he went to a Goodwill store or took all of his old
It's cheaper, right?
All of his own things.
Said I'll insulate it this way.
And I'm like, what is going on? And I mean, it was every single time between another 2x4, there would just be more crap. None of it was of any value. It was like the old Annapolis newspapers, the Capital, the Capital, and rags, T-shirts, kids' clothes. It was just a hodgepodge of whatever this guy could find. He stuffed it down as insulation in the bathroom only, because I took down another wall in another part of the house. So he was not. He did this after the fact, but apparently it must have been cold in the bathroom. So
That makes sense, yeah.
So he figured out this is the solution to the problem. That was a little
That's
bit
like
strange.
one of the craziest things. It was not my house. It was Castle's house. And he has a pretty big patio out back now. But when he first decided to do it, I went over there and helped him dig up the yard, right? No big deal. Summer day, it's hot as F. I think it was the hottest day in Seattle that year, whatever year this was, maybe 10 years ago. Anyway, we started digging. And he's like, Jesus Christ, we're like 20 feet away from each other. I'm like, what, man? And he picks this thing up. I think it's a rock at first. It's a bone. It's a neck bone, right? So I'm like, that's kind of weird, man. Maybe your dog buried it. We're like, all right, cool. It did not matter where we dug in his yard. Like, there were just bones everywhere, man. And as best we could tell, they were like vertebrae. And we're like, what the F? So now we're just kind of skeeved out. So we keep digging, right? And like some bones are turning up with every shovel hit. And then we hit this rock, but it looked like a skull at first. We're like, oh, my God. And we're like, okay, we need to relax. That's just a rock. But he had this huge collection of bones just sitting on his back porch. We still do not know why they were there. Maybe the previous homeowner.
Something crawled, I believe, either under that and died, or they buried a pet maybe before they built the deck.
But it had to be multiple pets, man. I mean, this was spread out over, and that's kind of what freaked us out. If it had been in one area, you go like, all right, an animal died. But like I said, we're 20 feet away from each other. We dug out a pretty big pit. I'm like, dude, you're on a goddamn graveyard.
Could be animals, though. Like, I have a buddy, his parents, every animal they've ever owned, they've buried in the yard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How many are out there?
Like 6 or 7.
Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
But have they been in the same house for 30-some years, 40 years?
Okay. All right.
I've never buried a pet. You know,
No, I haven't either.
You know, I mean, maybe a goldfish when I'm 4 or something like that, but I can't imagine. And look, it's not a big deal. I just can't imagine, like, digging up my yard, throwing the dog in it.
Well, someone's going to come and dig it up anyway.
That's my thought.
Unless you're down deep enough.
Yeah.
Someone's going to come and
I'd bury my dog, then the neighbor's dog's going to come over and dig his ass up.
Raise me ask, what did you find in your home? Temperatures are beginning to rise in the Valley of the Sun down in Phoenix and could possibly see its first triple-digit day of the year. But with the heat come some creepy crawlies that health officials are warning residents to be aware of. As the weather warms, venomous insects like spiders and scorpions start to emerge.
Cool.
And these bugs are looking to escape the heat and find food and water. So where do they go? They go to your house. Last year, the Poison Control Center received over 5,000 scorpion stings, over 100 rattlesnake bite calls. They say they have already received an influx of calls this year. Young children and seniors, they say, are the most at risk. They say to stay calm if you're bitten or stung by a venomous bug. Wash the impacted area with soap and water. Also apply a cold compress to reduce any pain and swelling. But they do avoid against using ice, heat, or tourniquets on these bites or stings, as they can do more harm than good. So be on the lookout if you're in Arizona. Now we have a story of a real estate transaction that fell apart just 1 hour before closing after a shocking discovery involving an alleged squatter at the property. The potential buyers, they had been under contract since March the 1st, chose to walk away from the deal after encountering a legal complication involving the seller's adult daughter.
What?
According to the prospective buyers in a post, everything appeared to be in order until the final walkthrough, which took place just before the scheduled closing. Now, during the walkthrough, they discovered the seller's daughter had moved back into the property over the previous weekend. Her belongings and even her dog had been brought back to the home, despite the seller's intentions to finalize the sale. Now, the potential buyers alleged that local law enforcement called to the property multiple times, confirmed the daughter's claim of tenants' rights. So the would-be buyers explained that there was no leasing agreement in place. Her name was not on the deed. However, officers apparently stated that they had visited the property 4 to 5 times in the past month and could do nothing, as it was now considered a civil matter. As a result, the buyers decided to cancel the transaction 1 hour before closing, citing concerns over the inability to evict the woman without a formal eviction process. Now, under New York state law, squatters who have lived on a property for more than 30 days are legally protected and must be evicted through the formal court process. Who in the right mind thought that up?
You don't have a lease. So you're just in someone's home while it's empty. But if I'm there long enough...
They're claiming tenant rights. They get to do that.
Right, then it's like, oh, it's mine.
But are you a tenant if you did not sign a lease? If you did not have a mortgage?
They say it takes months or even years to remove squatters from a property, especially when they claim tenant rights.
Well, I mean, you can claim it. I can claim I'm Superman. What the hell does that have to do with anything? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I know.
That is insane.
Well, good thing they didn't buy it, because if that's the legality of all that crap, it's not worth it.
I'd be so pissed if I bought a house, walk in there, and it's like, hey, man, tenants' rights. Like, wait a minute. I'm living with you now? Yeah. Until I leave. Oh, God damn. Yep. You saw what I saw. All right.
We just need to reset our phones
Literally,
again?
yeah.
Okay.
Just literally dropped off as I was clicking over there.
Let's see here. I'll give you guys one. Who are you scared to be riding in the car with while they're driving?
My mother.
Your mother?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just straight up, man. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really notice things as much. It's just how your parents drive. But as I got older, I just questioned some of the decision making.
Does she drive recklessly or too slow?
Too slow, but slow enough to the point of being reckless. Like, Ted, you say, like, I drive slow. You drive the speed limit. Right. She's not quite doing that, but then actually, you know what? Cancel that. My uncle. So my Uncle Ray, he's a little out there, always has been, but just as an example of one moment of me being in the car with him, we're on the East Coast. I don't remember where we were going, but we're on the equivalent of I-5. He takes an exit, realizes it's the wrong exit, which most people just go, damn, and you figure out a way to get back on the expressway, right? He threw the car in reverse. Again, on the freeway, pulling out of an exit. It was a terrifying moment. Terrifying. And I'm like, man, I cannot ride with him again. And I remember I got home, told my father about it, which was the wrong thing to do because my father, he just deals with stuff instantly. And I hear him just tearing my uncle up and down. I'm like, man, I did not tell you that for you to scream at him. I was just kind of relating a story that I thought was crazy. My father was like, he's not going to kill my son, man. He's like, I'm absolutely going to yell. Man, you do not want to get in the car with this guy.
Okay. All right. I guess probably myself.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, as far as just...
You don't drive safe, but you drive well.
I can drive.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Yes. I mean, I don't worry myself too much. I just know sometimes when I have passengers in the car that sometimes I can tell I'm worrying them a bit. So I'm just being self-conscious of this. I know for a fact.
I think it's more of I'm worried about getting sick in your car.
From the way that I drive.
Yeah. Like, I'm not worried about you hitting something, but there's a lot of speed ups, slow downs, changing lanes.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't one of your kids say that to you? Like, I'm going to get sick.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, but like my one daughter, she drives, like, very, very aggressively.
All right.
But the thing is with her, like, her car is her cockpit as far as, like, she got 2 phones mounted here.
Oh,
She's got like, French fries here. She's always got a drink. She's always got a water bottle. She gets in the car with like 4 bags over her shoulders and like sets up office, around her before she even takes off from the car. I'm just like, what is all this? Like, why do you need all this?
Some people just talk too much.
And they look at you when they're talking.
Correct.
Like, I can hear you. Just keep looking through the windshield.
She's switching artists on her phone while she's driving, blah, 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 blah. Razor asks, who are you scared to be in the car with? A 77-year-old man is in serious condition after he launched his car from a multi-story parking platform in Queen Anne.
Okay, him.
Emergency crews rushed to the First Avenue area shortly before 9 a.m., where they found the crash car upside down on an apartment patio. The driver was extricated from the vehicle, taken to a hospital for treatment. The car had gone over a cement parking bumper, through a metal railing, and dropped approximately 12 to 15 feet, landing on the patio below. Police believe speed was a factor.
You don't say.
There was probably a significant amount of speed because he went over a barrier, then a railing, then a wall, before he flipped his vehicle onto the patio. A resident said they'd never seen or heard of anything like that happening before in the neighborhood. No crap. I walk through here with my dog all the time. I'll never see anything like this. Yeah, no kidding, Laurie, who lives in Queen Anne. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies? Yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes. When they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What would you say, either maybe it was early on in your drinking days when you're first moving out of the house and all that? Everyone kind of looks for a cheap liquor, a cheap beer, whatever the deal is. What would you say was your cheap go-to liquor when you were growing up?
Definitely in college, it was Burnett's vodka.
Burnett's.
I've never heard of Burnett's. Let me guess, it was in a plastic bottle.
Nope, glass.
Really?
It would remove stains off of our floor that cleaning products wouldn't.
Dude, we drank a lot of Burnett's as well.
I don't remember Burnett's.
Yeah. Blue top, glass bottle.
Mike, you're familiar as well? Nope. All right, let me see this bottle here.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I do recognize
We
it.
drank a lot of Ruble as well.
I remember Ruble.
What did you drink it with?
Usually just Diet Coke back. We were taking shots of it because we didn't care about our esophagus. We didn't care about our throats. We didn't care about any of that. It was just $9.99 a bottle. Let's go.
What about your beer? What was your cheap beer?
That was, this is over in Central Washington University. So in Ellensburg, it was, was it Busch Ice or Busch Light?
Maybe Busch Ice. Right. I think Busch Ice was cheaper than Busch Light.
Busch Ice.
And Busch Light was not expensive. But Busch Ice in those days seemed really... Did you ever dabble in Mad Dog?
Oh, God. That still gives me nightmares. Yes. It was the worst, malt liquor / wine / this is not fruit juice combination you could have ever put in your body.
It's
fortified wine.
Yeah, fortified wine is what that is. We would drink, beer-wise, Mickey's Big Mouths, which were malt liquor. They were strong. They were cheap. And, they went down easy because they had a wide mouth on them.
Right. Milwaukee's Best? Come on, man.
Milwaukee's Best, the Beast. The Beast Light was a big one. Anything that started with S.
Yep.
Stroh's, Schlitz, Schmitz.
What about Red
Stoney's. Dog? Red Dog was a great beer back in the day.
Remember when I was in high school, the one store we went to, they just 30 packs of Red Dog. Just everybody showed up with them.
Yeah, we'd always get Milwaukee's Best, and there's a place on North Avenue in Baltimore called Friendly's Liquors. And he was friendly because he would sell to anybody. Didn't right. So, and of course, when you're 16 years old, you thought the way to make yourself look older is simply to put on sunglasses. Somehow, in your mind, correct. Yep. You transformed into an adult, and I was elected that day to go to Friendly's Liquors, and I went in, and the sign, a big-ass paper sign outside in the window that said, Milwaukee's Best, you can get a case for $7.99. So I walk in, kind of nervous, and I can see the guy looking at me. No big deal. Grab the case, put it up there. I'm cool, because, again, I got sunglasses and a hat on. There's no way he thinks I'm underage. So he rings it up, he's like, hey, man, that's $8.99. So, dude, the sign in the window says it's $7.99. He said, do you have ID? I said, no, I don't. He goes, right, it's $8.99. And sure enough, you see him just set the dollar to the side. Mm-hmm. Like, have a good night, man. But we realized, look, you can get a case from this guy. Just know he's going to upcharge you if you don't have an ID.
Right. Shockingly enough, I had a buddy, right out of high school, he started working for his dad, his distributor. And it was Anheuser-Busch. But Dave knows, he still works there. He knows every single thing about beer. And back in the day, he's like, look, man, per ounce, the cheapest beer that you can buy, believe it or not at the time, was a Coors Light Party Ball. And they had these spheres that had a pump on top. And he's like, man, I'm telling you, pound for pound, as far as what you're paying for, you're going to get more beer for the price if you just get a Party Ball. So, I mean, we wouldn't even be having a party.
Oh, yeah, you'll get a Party Ball,
We just
had
the Party Ball in our refrigerator with nothing else because basically you had to take most of the shelves out. It didn't matter because we didn't have a lot of food.
Absolutely, there's no food in there.
So basically that became a kegerator. Maybe one shelf up top with a stick of butter on it.
A stick of butter and some mustard.
Seriously, I mean, the condiment, that the door was probably the most full thing in that refrigerator.
Absolutely.
But if we could get a party ball, we always get a party ball.
I don't think they introduced the party ball out here, though. We brought it up before, and a lot of people are like, what is the Coors Light party ball?
That party ball was gone by the time I was in high school.
Some other people are checking in. Black Velvet and Rolling Rock.
What about Rich and Rare?
Let's see. Thunderbird and Carlo Rossi. Wow, man. I feel like Obi-Wan. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Mad Dog 2020 is Liquid Crack. Yes, it is. Still Reserve. Thunderbird, Night Train, Mickey's, and Red Dog. Let's see.
What were the 40s that we used to buy in Baltimore?
At that the Jewish place.
Yeah.
I was going with change. This poor lady.
I cannot remember.
We always rolled them handfuls of change, right? Basically, we'd scrounge up what we had, and half of it's like in the seats of Miles' car, change that we found on the floor at the station.
It might have been Steel Reserve.
But we'd roll in there, and this lady, she'd see us walk up with these 240s, and I mean, just when she would give us the price, it was just the sound of change hitting the counter.
And you'd be surprised.
Steel Reserves. Ugh.
I could put some back, but one of those 40s, you had a buzz. You were good. I mean, you were good for like an hour. I mean, it really did. You drink a 40 of that malt liquor, and you just sit back and go, man, I've kind of got a smoothie on right now before we go out to a bar.
Anthony in Beacon Hill says, quote, cheap liquor choice, Black Velvet Canadian whiskey. That's what's up.
Okay.
All right. Old English malt liquor. That is not a good one. Beer, let's see. Beer, white can, black lettering, said beer. Yeah, the generic stuff.
Right.
My parents were into that, man, like in the, I guess, late 70s. Like Jimmy Carter was president, but basically they would flood grocery stores and advertise it. Just, hey, man, it's generic food. So you'd buy a can, white label, black lettering, it said beans. That was it. But I remember my father would get 6 packs of
beer.
I mean, that's all. I don't know if he liked it. If he didn't like it, he never commented. But yeah.
My old man had a habit of coming home after Saturday nights, telling my mom, "Honey, I spent a little money at the auction." And he bought a wheelbarrow full of beer. He strictly bought it from the silent auction. 1, because it was cheap, and 2, he wanted the wheelbarrow. The beer was absolute crap, and he put it in the fridge downstairs. And so when me and my buddies would get together, he took all the good stuff. You know, he took the Budweiser and he took whatever it was that he wanted, and he left the crap down there for us. There was like
what was the crap?
There was like Natty Ice down there. There was Rolling Rock down there. We didn't have any of the malt stuff, but it was.
You missed out on the malt liquor.
I didn't. My mother-in-law relived her childhood with me when we started hanging out over in Issaquah because we went on a mission looking for Mickey's the grenades that they had.
Yeah.
Dude, I got sick so many doggone weekends. I realized I can't do malt liquor. I will yak.
Malt liquor is like the path to homelessness. I'm convinced, man.
Well, no matter what, it seems like
that's what they're drinking.
That's what I'm saying.
It seems like the prices remain consistent. So if you buy a 6-pack of our beer, you're going to find it within the $12 range, right? So that's $2. It's $2 a bottle of beer. And it was kind of the same way then. Like if you went to a bar and the Rolling Rock was $1.50.
Yeah.
You were paying 75 cents a bottle. So when you went in and got a 6-pack of Rolling Rock, man, it was, it was $4.
It didn't cost much.
It was nothing. So we typically ended up with buy that too.
Anyone here drink Four Loko? I forgot about Four Loko, man. That's
we definitely had a couple nights we tried it, especially when they were going to ban it. We were like, screw it, let's drink it. Four Loko was making a big push back.
Really?
Yeah.
What was its whole thing? Was it caffeine and alcohol?
Right, it had too much caffeine and alcohol in it. So they banned it in a lot of places, especially around college campuses. But I think they're bringing it back now. It's just like a malt liquor without the
less caffeine.
Yeah, I don't know if it still has caffeine or not.
Okay. Razor asked, what was your cheap go-to liquor? Today, by the way, National Beer Day. So on your way home, why not pick up a 6-pack of Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager IPA from Black Raven Brewing in the bright yellow can, or the silver one with the 20th Anniversary Lager. Or if not, join us Saturday at Muggle Shoot, 10 o'clock. We'll have those beers there. But either way, it is National Beer Day. They say if you're a beer drinker, you can celebrate by picking up an expensive 4-pack of a double IPA or a cheaper case of something lighter and less interesting. But the website Visual Capitalist, they recently crunched the numbers on the average prices of 24 packs of beer across the country. The state with the cheapest case of beer is Illinois.
Really?
Where an average price for a case of beer is $16.43.
What is the primary beer that drags it down? Like, I could make the argument if I went back to Rochester, New York, man, it's not expensive here. And it's like, right, I guarantee you, Ginny Cream Ale is the anchor that brings the price down, your average price. So that stuff is garbage.
Now, the other cheap states, South Carolina was second, followed by New York State,
Really?
They have the third cheapest beer in the United States.
I'm telling you, that's got to be Genesee Brewing.
And you're taking probably New York City out of the equation on the average, and that still is a low average considering that is included. Rhode Island, Kansas, Michigan, North Carolina, Arizona, Connecticut, which is one of the most expensive states to live in.
Oh, yeah.
And Virginia, believe it or not, which is not cheap either unless you're in the western part of the state. Now,
well, Northern Virginia is super expensive. The rest of Virginia is relatively cheap.
Yeah, and it should be.
Okay, here's where it gets weird. Where would you think is the priciest place in the United States for a case of beer?
Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles,
Utah.
It kind of makes sense. That's not a bad guess. Actually, just based on proximity, it is Alaska. Even though they do make their own beer up there. But the average price is $33.62 per case of beer. We know everything is more expensive in Alaska.
Sure.
It's hard to get there.
You just think the price will be down because you've got Alaskan Brewing Company. You've got all these different things in Anchorage. And Juneau, you would assume that if you just drink the local beer, but then again, you've got to import the hops.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to get all these things up there. So
and generally, local beers are more expensive.
Which is weird.
That's a good point.
So it's the same situation for Hawaii then, like Honolulu.
Hawaii is third. The weird thing about it is the second highest cost per state for a case of beer is Wyoming. Wyoming and Montana. Both of those states have incredibly expensive beer.
Why?
Is there just no local swill out there?
Or just not enough people?
Right?
But don't you worry, Oregon and Washington make the list.
Of course.
We have some of the most expensive beer. Pennsylvania because of their laws. Nevada, Vermont, Tennessee. All among the priciest beer averages.
Tennessee, that brother, we want you to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our bread and butter, man.
That would not surprise me.
Hello, Joel. Welcome to the men's room.
How you doing?
Hola.
Hola.
Joel, welcome to the program.
We used to shoot country club cans.
All right.
In cans.
Country club.
Yeah, and you take the can opener and open the bottom and then put your face on that and then crack the top and it would shoot.
Is this a beer? I'm not familiar with Country Club.
Yeah, it's not any good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I'm looking at the label. It looks like, hey, this beer tastes like S, but you're broke.
Country Club. Yeah, it sounds fancy. Okay, since we're talking about beer and you brought it up, what would you say is your favorite legal drug? Your favorite legal drug? Legal. What's your favorite legal drug?
Well, then weed. I mean,
well, there's alcohol. Cannabis.
Yeah, right there with you, man.
Okay. How often do you smoke?
And Bud Ice. Well, I just finished one.
All right. So at least on the every day, probably.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get some good stuff.
Sounds that way.
All right.
Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I'm comfortably numb right now.
You sound like you are.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah,
That's the nice thing about legal. It's funny, man. You know, when they legalized weed.
Would you take cannabis over nicotine?
No.
Yeah.
All right, Nicotine's a drug. I don't perceive it, but you're like, caffeine's a drug.
Yes,
right?
it is. That's what I'm saying. What is your favorite legal drug?
I think the most popular drug in the U.S. is caffeine by leaps and bounds, whether it's through chocolate,
Caffeine
whether
and
it's through
sugar?
soda, whether it's through coffee, right? Nicotine, obviously, is my go-to, because I could probably give up weed before I give up cigarettes.
All right, let's assume this. What if it was prescribed to you?
What's that? Oh, drugs?
It's a drug, but you're allowed to have it because you get a prescription for it. So
if that's the case, it'd have to be something like morphine.
Morphine?
Well, because they don't prescribe the illegal drugs that I like. They're not prescription.
Yes, well, you need
dentist might.
You need morphine if you got morphine.
Yeah,
I'm saying prescription wise, I know I've taken Percocet before to go into a procedure.
Yeah.
Okay, but that just makes me incredibly loopy. Too loopy to even it works if you are in pain.
Sure.
But as a recreational drug, I don't necessarily like it. But I do like Adderall. I've had a couple Adderalls.
Sure.
I don't have
it's like legal speed.
I don't have a prescription for it, but I've been given it once or twice. I'm like, this is okay. I can see why people like this.
I take Valium.
Ooh, that's not a bad call,
Does that
man.
knock you down or does that bring you up?
To me, every time I had it, it's almost like a prescription of really good weed.
Okay.
You're just like, oh, I feel totally relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah, I do dig
Look,
drugs.
I don't want to like nicotine. I'm addicted to nicotine. It's not my favorite legal drug because it's so addictive. So for me, it's just like, it's a terrible habit. I'd almost say caffeine. I mean, obviously there's alcohol, but I wake up every morning and I need a couple cups of coffee.
Really?
Yeah, I like the taste of it. I'm not even sure if I get jacked up on it. I just like starting my day with a warm cup of coffee.
I mean, I could live without caffeine because sometimes I'll drink coffee in the morning, sometimes I won't. Mike, I don't think you could go a day without your caffeine. Oh, yeah. Multiple hits. Like freebasing over there.
I am, man.
I can see you melt it down on a spoon and just injecting it directly into your
veins.
veins.
That's tough about these questions, though, right? It's like, what do you
forget
think?
that certain things are drugs, because look.
Right, because you say you're addicted to it, but it's like, right, but at some point, like, tobacco is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the nicotine, you're absolutely addicted, but you forget that it's a drug, because to me, it's like it's just a cigarette. But you're right, it's a drug. And then you forget the caffeine's a drug, but generally the way the things work out, like, if people on the federal level enjoy it, then it's going to stay legal. So everyone's addicted to caffeine. Not everyone, but it's a generalization, right? But it ain't going anywhere. They'll tell you, oh, it's bad for you, all this stuff. It ain't going anywhere, because we like coffee, we like Coca-Cola, we like chocolate, so it'll stick around.
Reason we asked, what is your favorite legal drug? Here's a weird one. We have a lawyer in Fort Worth, Texas, and they are in the news for claiming now that you could get a DUI from drinking too much coffee. He posted a video about how DUI and DWI don't just mean booze or illegal drugs. If they impair your ability to drive, legal drugs can also get you in trouble. And he specifically mentioned caffeine. He says it's not something that actually happens. It just could legally. But there are examples of people getting arrested for it.
Really?
So
too much coffee.
A guy in California, he got pulled over in 2015 for driving erratically. Caffeine was the only thing in his system. They charged him with a DUI for it. Okay?
I mean, if it impairs your ability.
They eventually dropped the charge after they could not prove there was enough caffeine in his system to be intoxicated from it. But in theory, yes, you could get a DUI for having too many espressos and being too jacked up while driving.
But DUI is driving under the influence.
Correct.
And not only
caffeine
intoxicated, right? You're under the influence of caffeine.
Of that drug.
Hey, man, if it affects your driving, I don't know. I feel like so many things could fall under that category then. It would explain a lot of drivers.
Yeah, totally. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge, featuring per-spare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's Precision Fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at danner.com.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed, yeah. A.K.A. You're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Well, we'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a...
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, hey, can you put the game on? At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK. Guess who it is, Ted? James? James, welcome to the Men's Room.
How's it going, fellas?
Hola! James, welcome to the program. Random question. All right. James, let's go with this one. What did your parents not let you do growing up that other kids got to do?
Skip all of my sister's activities. Like, I got dragged to softball games, Brownie, and Girl Scout.
They made you go to the Girl Scout meetings?
Yeah.
Was that because you were not allowed to be or too young to be left at home?
Oh, no. Mom left me home alone all the time. I really couldn't tell you why she dragged me to all these stupid events.
Is she an older or younger sister?
Older by 2 years.
Okay. And look, there's some things you're going to drag your kid to. I get it. But Girl Scouts and brownies, man, I would not put my son through that.
Did your mom do the same thing for you? In other words, if you're involved in Little League or whatever, did your sister have to go to all your games?
Oh, God, no.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is your theory on this?
I don't know, because I wasn't, involved in the Girl Scout meetings or any of that. I was just, off in the back room. They're like, well, you're here. You can go play with these 2 action figures or stacked chairs or whatever.
So she would let you stay home alone, but if your sister had a thing, then she would drag your ass to it.
Oh, yeah. It continued, into, church youth group. I was 2 years too young to be there. And, none of the older kids, wanted me there. So it was always super fun.
And was your sister super involved in things? So is this something like every weekend you were stuck going somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
How old were you when that finally went away?
I stopped going, started protesting when I was around 12.
Okay.
Did you have a dad in the house?
No. He was over in Othello.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, if your mom would leave you home alone, I don't understand why she would drag your ass to the last thing on earth that you had any interest in.
Right, it's like my mom would drag me to my sister's stuff, but when I got old enough to stay alone, that stop.
I mean, there's little things where I go like, all right, your sister's in a play. Just come see her, show some support. But if it were Girl Scouts, like, they don't want you there. And it's not even, I'm not opening your eyes to anything because this is not an organization you can join.
Right. Yeah. I think I put my foot down on going to service at about 14 years old.
Yeah.
Which was a knockdown, drag out, screaming match with my mother and my stepfather. He was more on my side than not.
You didn't want to go either.
I just didn't want to go. And when you're that age and you've been going to church your entire life, you get to a certain point where just watching the NFL football on Sunday, there were all these things that you and your friends would do together, and you weren't included. And not only that, but we had to go to Sunday school. So we started at 10 and did not get out till noon. So we would do an hour of Sunday school and then do an hour of regular service. So for us, it was 2 hours where the parents, they would stand around and talk, drink coffee,
have a donut,
have social.
Out.
Yeah, they weren't doing stuff. They were just kind of networking with each other and talking about the neighborhood or whatever the deal was. But you had to sit there and go to school.
Right.
And I'd had enough. I was like, look, I've done all this. It's time for me to be able to make my own decisions about what I believe and what I want to do with my own time.
And there's only a certain amount you can learn from this.
Correct.
If it brings you peace, go ahead and do it. But as far as a kid goes, I know what I need to know. Why do I keep? My parents were actually pretty good. I mean, they did not make me or prevent me from doing a lot of things. They only got to meet curfew. My dad was sharp on that. So whatever the curfew was, man, seriously, if you got home 30 seconds late, it was an issue. He was super strict about that, but he did not prevent you from going somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's just I remember once, and this sucked, man. I'm literally 2 blocks away from home. My curfew got bumped up to 10 p.m. Now, it's the summer, hanging out with a bunch of guys. They're in my friend's parents' kitchen. There's 8 of us, whatever. And I look at the clock, and the clock says 9:45. I live maybe 2 minutes away, so I'm like, cool. Then I realized time has slipped by. I'm like, oh, crap. And this is pre-cell phone and all that. I wasn't wearing a watch. And I look at the clock again. It still says 9:45. And I realize, oh, no. I literally have no idea what time it is because obviously the battery and that clock has stopped working. So I'm just like, guys, I got to go home. I know it's late. And I probably already blew it. And I get home. It's maybe 10:20. And my father, he is pissed. What time did I tell you to be home? I said, well, 10 o'clock. He's like, okay, it's 10:20. I said, hey, man, the house we're at, and they knew the kid. I said, they got a clock in the kitchen like everybody does. The battery's dead. He did not believe me. He was thinking, that's a clever excuse, but BS. So basically, I got it handed to me. My curfew got reduced. And I'm like, God damn, man. I'm telling you the truth on this. The kitchen clock stopped at 9:45. It probably said 9:45 the entire time we were there. I just didn't bother to look until I knew I was up against it. But literally, that was it. So the next night, when everyone's going out, I'm like, bro, I got to be home at 9. They're like, what happened? I'm like, your clock and your kitchen man changed the battery. He's like, oh, bro, that battery's been dead for 6 months. I'm like, that's why I got in trouble.
Yep. Raise we ask, what did your parents not let you do that other kids got to do? The story says, my wife Kathy and I have 2 kids, Sadie, who is 10, and Melody, who is 8. Melody's friend Aubrey is having a birthday slumber party next month, and she has been invited. Now, Melody does have type 1 diabetes, recently began using an insulin pump, which has allowed her more freedom in terms of things like eating, not have to worry about injections.
Sure.
Her care team has been great in teaching her how to manage it, and she's been doing really well with oversight from my wife and myself. Now, Melody has been allowed to have friends over to our place for sleepovers, but we have never let her stay overnight at a friend's alone just due to her condition. Now, on prior occurrences, when Melanie has gone to a sleepover party, she's allowed to stay till after dinner is served. Then she has to go home.
That sucks.
So she's been lobbying big time to go to Aubrey's slumber party by herself and points out that we've been allowed Sadie to go to sleepovers by herself since she was 7. And given how well Melanie's been doing with her insulin pump, I think this would be a good opportunity for her to start having typical childhood experiences that her condition previously put limitations on. The trouble is my wife is adamantly against her staying overnight solo. As far as she's concerned, our previous way of doing things has worked well, and she sees no reason to fix something that's not broken. I think she's missing the whole point of getting Melody the pump was to make it possible for her to become more independent. Audrey's parents are aware of her condition and have a nephew who is diabetic as well. They were even the ones who told us how much of a difference an insulin pump made in their lives, which put us on the same path to getting one for Melody. So they know how to provide help if she needs it, and I see no reason to think that our daughter will be at risk if she went on her own.
Yeah.
So sleepovers. I think it really depended on whose house I was going to and who was going to be there.
Sure.
Because my parents knew that I had some friends who's like, my one buddy, Pat, his dad was on the road all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was more traveling, more so than
You're not spending the night there.
There's certain friends you couldn't hang out with.
Yeah, who's going to be there?
Right.
Who's going to be watching you guys?
That was always the main question. Who's going to be there? And I was like, as a kid, we do not do that much research. But based on the age that I am, asking you if I can spend a night somewhere, presumably one or both of the parents. What do you think we're going to do?
All right, let me ask you this. Did your parents ever get one wrong? Like my mom, for years, would have no issue with, like, I was going out with Bernie or whatever. I mean, Bernie was the ringleader, right? Like, I don't know how to describe it. His family had a giant van. Like, if you needed to know where a party was or if you had to acquire a keg, you went to Bernie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was the man. But then my other buddy, John, who was a super nice dude and this and that, my mom, something happened once. She had it in her head that he was trouble.
He's the problem.
Right. So she'd be like, is John going to be there? And I'd be like, I couldn't give up the goat and be like, you should be worried about Granzo, not John.
Yep.
Right? But she just, to this day, she'll still bring it up. And I'm like, Mom, what did John ever do? He was super nice.
Well, my mother got it backwards. My buddy Tony, and Tony's a slick dude. He's a nice guy, but he was as up to no good as me. But my mother loved him, and he knew how to play it. So every time he came over to the house, oh, hey, Tony, how are you? Hello, Mrs. Hill. Then he'd always give her, like, this peck on the cheek, right? So in my mother's mind, she's like, that's the ultimate gentleman. And I'm like, we're standing here talking to my mother. My mother's gushing over Tony, and I'm like, she does not know what we were doing 1 hour ago. And even if I told her, she would not believe me. To this day, she still thinks, and obviously we've grown up and all that, but still thinks, like, he was the sweetest guy and all that.
Is he a good guy now?
Dude, he was a good guy then. What my mom failed to realize, like, I'm a little more flippant about stuff. Like, if you call me. So I don't care if you're mad. It means nothing to me. I'm going to go ahead and do what I do. Yes, I know I'm in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, Tony was my wingman in 100% of these things. They just never believed that Tony was involved. Subsequently, Tony's mother had the same opinion of me, right? And I just did what he did, so his last name's Waddy, right? Oh, hey, Mrs. Waddy, how are you? Peck on the cheek, learned that from Tony. And somehow that just lights mothers up, right? They just, you're the greatest guy. And Tony would be mean mugging me like, look, man, my mom feels about me the same way your mother feels about you. They both know we're up to no good, but somehow we have convinced the other mother that this is the best possible friend I could hang out with. And this went through all 13 years, even early when I first moved out of the house. Well, is Tony going to be one of your roommates? Legally, no, but reality, yes. Right. He just spent the night all the time, and it would drive me crazy. Then Leon would come over, and my mother's like, I don't trust Leon. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't, but also understand he's probably prevented me from getting my ass kicked as many times as Tony has put me in a situation where I might get my ass kicked. She never got it.
Didn't care.
No, didn't matter.
So in my world, it was not necessarily the kid involved, my friend involved. It was their parents. And if you don't understand the dynamic of adults knowing a lot of things, especially in a small community, a small town, about other people's parents, they know everything. So, so one buddy's dad's a dentist. I was not allowed to get in the car with him. All right, so like if we play on the same baseball team, Little League.
Yeah.
I had to walk home from the games, walk home from practice. I could never take a ride. If my parents saw me get out of his car, they would have grounded me.
What was his deal? What did they know about him that you didn't?
He kind of looked like Lloyd Bridges in Airplane. So every time you saw him, he was either under the influence of like nitrous or cocaine or like stuff that I didn't even understand.
Right, you have no idea.
But when they would go to parties and stuff, he was the one who got the drunkest. He was the one that kind of took people in the side rooms for entertainment. All these things I find out later in life. Oh, yeah. But at that time, like he was a dentist, which was a big deal. They lived in a huge-ass house.
Yeah, from a kid's perspective, this guy's made it.
I just want to go over to their house because he had all the toys. He had all the video games, or there was a new video game that came out, whatever system he had. He always had the new ones. He had a three-wheeler. He had a go-kart. He had a cool bike, he had a basketball hoop at his house.
Yeah.
Stuff, But I was not allowed to spend the night because my mom was worried he was going to burn the house down.
That's fair, man. I mean,
so it wasn't my friend. It was specifically his dad.
If that's the person responsible. I mean, look, as a parent now, and my kid, they're getting a little bit out of it now, but a couple of years ago, when sleepovers were much more exciting to them, it did kind of come down to the same thing. And look, my wife, she knows every parent of every kid of every parent, I kind of recognize faces, I don't know. And she's like, hey, man, your son wants to spend the night at so-and-so's house. My perspective was like, great. It's a Friday night, dude. We're going to watch whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, their parents are so-and-so. Rings no bells to me. And then she would say something to the effect of, you remember the guy that got arrested for... I'm like, oh, that's him? Yeah. But it sucks when you have to explain to your kid because they're like, well, why not? You like so-and-so. I'm like, dude, he's a great kid. How about this? How about he spends the night here? And then the kids are like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I'm just like, all right, we dodged a bullet on that. The particular family I'm thinking of has since moved away. But it's just, my son's always like, why? What's wrong with him? I'm like, it's not your friend, man. But yeah, you don't need to be in that house.
Random.
Yeah, it's weird what you
That's
know.
tough. Yeah,
it is, man. It's so I must have some decent reputation because everyone spends the goddamn night at my house all the time. Seems that way. So I'm like, all right, we're doing something right. Mm-hmm. They're not scared to leave them with us, including much like the guy that started the article with his kid having a medical condition. I can name any medical condition that any of my kids' friends have. Right. At this point, we're like, just drop off the medication. We will remind them, and I'll do my best to revive them. That's always what I say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll do what I can. No guarantees. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, man.
Hola.
Tom, how are you?
First time calling in, long time listener.
I appreciate
awesome
that.
Show, fella.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, let's give you this one. Not that you've ever thought about this in your lifetime, Tom, but what would you like to be named after you? Whether that's something that you're interested in, hobby-wise, or building.
Well, I tell you, man. I tried with my son, and you should have seen the look my wife gave me.
Okay.
And I'm named after but if I got to have something named after me, I think maybe a Harley Davidson.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Now, would it be a big
the
one?
Tom version.
Yeah, would it be like a dragster, a roadster? What would it be?
I would want it to be a Springer because that was the kind I had, and a Softail. I had the Heritage Springer, but maybe they could redo the Heritage again because they only made it for 7 years, and it could be the Henderson Heritage Springer.
Do they ever do that for anybody in particular? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, shoe companies do it.
Sure.
McDonald's does it with value meals that people put their name on.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that.
I want a value meal.
Well, look, man. Hey, I'm sorry. I might put that up there.
Really?
Yes.
The Miles Montgomery value meal?
Yes.
What do they get? I go to McDonald's.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I gotta really think this thing through. But I mean, it's gonna be crazy good, whatever it is.
In your opinion, sure.
In my opinion, yes, in my humble opinion. But instead of like a bridge or even a golf course or whatever, that's fine. But I don't know, man. Something that kind of touches everybody.
I think you want yourself named after something. Because, Tom, I think you nailed it on the head in the sense of it's a specific thing that somebody wants. Because like you said, the bridge, right. I'm only driving over the bridge because that's what gets me to where I'm going. I don't care who they named it after. You get me from point A to B. But if you name a Harley, in my case, a specific base with the bells and whistles,
yeah.
That you are actively seeking this out because they throw. And there's a couple of base players.
Has anybody ever tried to buy something similar to the custom base that you made from that same guy?
People have got an idea. The thing about my custom base is if you want something like that, it's going to have to be custom, period. Right? There's not a lot of imagination. Well, probably. So when I first put out the idea of what I wanted on the bass, and there's a certain bells and whistles that a lot of guitars have that they don't put on bass. And I'm like, well, a kill switch, just stuff like that. But there's a few other tricks within the bass so that you can actually be creative with it. You can just play your standard bass line, which is fine, but you can also do something different, be creative. So other bass players that have seen it, they're like, that's really cool. And I'm like, look, man, it's just a matter of you have to get it custom made because they just don't. And like Fender basses are great, right? I love them. Music band basses are fantastic, but they're still not going to make this. It doesn't come with the bells and whistles. You'll get great pickups and all this new technology, but it's not this, and it's not even freaking close. So when I first came up with the idea, I sent it out to some very reputable bass luthiers, if you will, and they straight up turned me down. They said, we're not even going to try to do this. And finally, I found the guy that would make it, and he makes basically a lot of studio basses for Nashville musicians. He's right outside of Nashville, so a lot of those studio guys, they'll play his crap. They're not on tour and all that kind of thing. Anyway, he says, look, at the time he was doing it, I want to say it was like a 9-week turnaround on most basses he made. When I put my stuff in, he said, look, there's no way I can do this in 9 months, but I like the challenge you put in front of me. So or 9 weeks, this is going to take closer to 9 months. And I said, bro, take your time because I've never had it before, right? There's no hurry for it because I've never had it. So what was cool was when he got down to like the last 2 weeks, and he kept me updated with pictures and all this kind of thing of what's going on. The coolest thing was, he goes, all the studio guys that he just kind of hangs out with, they heard what it is I was making for you. They said, like, good luck on that. And he crushed it, by the way. But anyway, like they started watching the progress. And when he had the finished product, he actually sent me an email and says, do you mind if some of these guys play it before I send it to you, because they've been watching the process, and now that it's almost done, like they're excited to F around with it. I said, please, man, let them. And they did, and he's like, dude, glowing reviews. I can't say anything bad. But I would love if they mass-produced that and be like, yeah, man, let's throw goddamn bass for people that want to play goddamn bass. That's what it is.
Reese, we asked, what would you like named after you? Believe it or not, speaking of Nashville, there is a petition to rename Nashville Airport after Dolly Parton. And it's picking up steam. Which makes sense. She is the queen of Nashville. It was put up on change.org in January. But believe it or not, this is actually legitimate, and it's picking up some media attention, and it's picking up steam. So instead of the Nashville International Airport, it would be called the Dolly Parton International Airport.
All right.
You'd be departing from Parton.
Nice.
It'd be open all hours of the day, not just 9 to 5. You could fly out at other times.
Hey.
So far, the petition has gotten over 48,000 signatures. I think if there's one guy in Seattle where I think everybody would be on board and go, you know what? We have no problem naming the airport after one guy.
One guy from Seattle.
One Seattle.
It's maybe two. Musician.
Maybe two.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix.
That would be the first
That would be
pick.
cool as hell.
And the second pick, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I think either one of those two guys would get enough steam to be able to maybe get SeaTac named after them.
What if it's called the Bruce Hendrix? Bruce Hendrix Airport.
Like the Kenny G Airport's not going to be. I'm just saying.
No, man.
That's over by Walla Walla and Wine Country.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, fair. Or if it's a small.
You're right. That's an independent airport, man. And
I really think Bruce Lee and Hendrix are the only two. I mean, you could say Paul Allen or Bill Gates or whatever, but I don't know if people would get behind that as much as they would.
It's like good for them,
somebody
but nobody
that entertained
cares.
them that's legendary, More of the Random Question coming up 206-803 Rocks.
When water from the pipes was pouring down, filed a claim with his Cox.
We turned it around. Across America, over 600,000 small businesses look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at hiscox.com.
'Cause there's no business like small business.
Like no business we know. Get a quote today with Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Plumbing backs up and things get stinky. Call Pinky's.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
I'm going to guess the roof will be closed tonight for the Mariners game.
Holy God.
The best Major League ballparks coming up and hot sauce. That is your categories. On your guess is as good as mine. I just realized that. Yes. If you're on hold there, we just lost all the calls. So give us a call back, 206-803-ROCK. But yes, your guess is as good as mine coming up at 4:30. I will give you guys one in the meantime. Random, as we get stuff reset. Okay. Should be an easy one to answer. What would you guys say is one of the more dumb things that you did as a teenager? Whether you got caught or not, whether you got in trouble for it or not, looking back, you go, God, that was stupid.
Man, I don't know. More just getting into trouble with quote-unquote rival kids, perhaps is the best way to put that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the big physical confrontations and physically showing up in their neighborhood to throw down over nothing.
Right.
You know, well, looking back, nothing at the time is the most important thing we could do, but I mean, it got bad, man.
Yeah. I think mine, looking back, just at the stupidity of it, there was a car dealership that was on an exit right before the Pennsylvania border. Right. And if you pulled over on that exit, it was just a 2-lane road, county road, and this car dealership. And they had like maybe 1 or 2 lights out in the front. That was about it. But they also had a used car lot beside it that was on the gravel portion of the property. Now, me and my buddy kind of had a little knowledge there that they didn't always lock the doors on the used cars as much. They had a bigger indoor showroom for the new cars. They had, so, your new cars outside too. But they had all the used cars outside. They would not lock the doors. We could find a way in. Sometimes it was the fact that they left the trunk unlocked, and you could kick your way through the back seats, and we would pick a radio we wanted and take that and then put that into our own car. And we'd always look for one that we could upgrade. So the gold mine was, at one point in time, I just got a new car. Radio was fine in the car. I just wanted to upgrade. So I found a car that had an Alpine in it.
Ooh, okay. That was the S back in the day.
And was able to pull that bad boy out of the dashboard and take that home and put it in my car. Of course, I installed it wrong. So every time I switched gears, it go, and whine through the speakers.
Oh, you can hear it through the speaker?
I didn't ground it correctly. But either way, that's one of the dumber things that I remember doing growing up. It's just like breaking into a car and stealing the stereo out of it. And sometimes, too, the speakers.
Oh, really?
Well, depending on what they had.
How many times do you think you did this?
Twice. One for me and one for my other buddy.
Okay.
So my partner in crime, we both got a car stereo, and we both got a set of speakers. I got a set of back speakers. I think he got all 4. I think he pulled the door panel off, got the speakers out of there.
Yeah, like I don't remember stealing anything that bad. I definitely remember like Thrill saying, like we would roll up places like 20 deep, but I heard there was beef with the DeMatha guys. Let's go over there and settle it.
Right.
Which of course would never happen because there's 20 of us.
Yeah.
I think the dumbest thing, just as a teenager, we didn't really think about it, and I feel bad now for the poor maintenance guy, but there wasn't a lot of places to kind of go and drink. So we would park on this road, and then we could cut through just like quickly through the woods, and you were on the University of Maryland golf course.
All right.
So, I mean, we would just sit on the greens and drink. Like St. Ides special brews and stuff. But as I'm older now, I'm like, oh, we must have torn up those greens. Like,
but
that
you
probably
think
was a
about
pain
it
in the
at the
butt.
time.
Like, we didn't think about it at all. It was was just like a secret little spot that wasn't hard to get to.
Yeah, we were doing, I thought about that. We would hang out on the golf course and drink. Same thing. You weren't effing with the golf course, but you were there. But there was one night, we see the lights kind of hit us and the little vehicles come. And, I don't know what horsepower these things are, but we take off running. And I just remember as we're running, because you're kind of laughing. Because as a teenager, if you're in danger, you also laugh while you're panicking. Yeah. And I look to my left, and my buddy Tony, the very innocent Tony, as my mother would say, he looks like Superman. And it was weird because I'm like, how was he flying? And what we found out later, he broke his nose this day. But what we found out was, as we're running, he tripped over a sprinkler head, and it launched him airborne. And that's why when I looked at him, he's just flying through there, but he landed on his face, man. So by the time we all kind of met up later, everyone's kind of chuckling. He's the only guy that got grass stains on him. His nose is just bleeding profusely. But his big thing was like, what am I going to tell my mother happened to my nose? Right. That's the whole thing. Well, I said, man, just tell her you got into a fight. It's Baltimore. She'll believe you.
We were at a house party once. The same thing. Cops showed up. Obviously, the kids shouldn't have been having the party. And there's like the old wooden fences that everybody had in their yards.
Yeah.
To kind of separate them. So people are trying to scale it. We're just, I don't know why. We weren't really that scared. Maybe it's because we had just got there. Like, cops aren't going to mess with us. But one girl who was not smaller, she went to climb that fence, and it fell over.
Oh, no.
And then we laughed at her and just walked over her.
Did it fall on her or did she fall on it?
No, she fell flat down. She was screaming. I think she was in pain. I knew her, but the cops were coming, and we just walked right by her.
Okay.
Pretty heartless.
Yeah. Speaking of golf courses, one of my friends lived in a development where.
Right, can you imagine? Because we're already laughing. I can't believe she's trying to scale that fence. Bam! It falls over. So then we're like, let's just go that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
She cleared a path.
We stepped over her, but it was pretty close.
Yeah. We used to play one hole of night golf at this private golf course. It was a country club. It was gated in the front, but where my one friend lived, if you walked 100 yards through the woods on a trail, then you could get on the golf course.
Okay.
So we would go over to his house and, spending the night doing whatever we do. We'd walk the trail. We'd go to the hole. If it was a full moon or any kind of light out, you could basically see what you were doing. And we would just play this one hole. And we played for hours.
Yeah.
We never destroyed anything. But it was right by the turn stand, and the turn stand was just a men and women's bathroom and a soda machine.
Yeah.
The sodas were 50 cents, but because it was private, they had beer in there for $1.
Ooh,
nice. So they had 2 or 3 varieties of beer, Budweiser, whatever, Coors, whatever the hell's in there. But for $1 and quarters, so we would just get all our quarters together, and we would drink beer and play that golf course, play that one hole, 4 or 5 times, do side bets, do everything else.
That's kind of awesome, man.
And just drink. And we weren't destroying anything. It wasn't we were stealing anything. We just shouldn't be there, shouldn't be drinking underage, and not playing the golf course at night. So all those things kind of fell into place. But other than that, we felt like that was pretty harmless.
We weren't teenagers, but I knew another friend in their house. I think it was the same University of Maryland golf course, but their backyard backed up to it. So we would just hide in the woods, and then if you hit a tee shot in the fairway, we would just run out and steal it. And then people could figure out we were in the woods. And it was always pretty funny because they got really mad.
Oh, of course.
But a couple guys would tee up balls and launch them into the bushes where we were hiding. That's when we stopped.
Yep. Raise me ask, what's the dumbest thing you did as a teenager? Here's a doozy. According to the Rio Ranch Observer, a member of a junior varsity baseball team at Rio Rancho High School in New Mexico is facing 15 counts of battery after he was charged with a violation police say occurred when his squad hosted another baseball team on March 25th. It was, they say, pretty clear something was amiss when Rio Rancho announced every member of the JV team had been suspended last week. And on Friday, they got some insight into that decision after the town's police department announced that it charged an unidentified 16-year-old player with urinating in the water cooler of the visiting team's dugout ahead of the game. Now, while the player is obviously innocent until proven guilty, the problem is he has already admitted to urinating in the jug while encouraging the families who received some of that water to consult with a doctor if they believe their child drank the tainted water.
Damn.
Now, they say drinking a small amount of urine probably going to kill you. Generally just not advised, even if you do so willingly. So the investigation continues, but basically right now, he made a statement to police and said, yeah, I peed in the water cooler.
I mean, at least you owned up to it. Not that makes anyone feel better.
Random.
Hello, Tyler. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Tyler, doing well. How are you?
Pretty well.
Okay. Tyler, let's go with this random question. How did you get screwed over?
Well, I had a buddy of mine that I let come live with me just on the whim. He had nowhere to go. Stopped paying rent because I wouldn't buy him any more food, so I got screwed with that.
Wait, he stopped paying you rent because you would not buy him food?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long did he stay with you?
He was with us probably for about 4 months.
But why was it your obligation to buy him food?
I don't know. It's because at first I'm the nice guy. At first, you move into my house, I'm going to feed you, but expenses started getting tight, so
well,
he decided.
I don't think that's an unfair statement. Like, dude, you just buy your own groceries.
Yeah. And when this guy left, I go into his room because, we need to clean up because we're getting kicked out because, he left us. I go in there, piles upon piles of fast food bags just littering his room.
But he needed you to buy groceries. Okay.
Yeah.
But did you get kicked out because of him?
Probably. I mean, I probably could have fixed some expenses. I was younger, not as smart with my expenses, but it was definitely still a struggle that would have been a lot easier if he was.
I had a roommate, not do the same thing, but basically, everyone was in charge of one bill in my house.
Right.
When we all lived together. That way it wasn't one person taking on the responsibility, everyone fiscally. Sure. It was just like, look, you pay the electric bill, we'll pay you. You pay
tell
the
us
cable
what it
bill,
is, right.
phone bill, you pay that. We all pay for our own individual rent, but on the individual stuff, we would just put one person's name in that bill. All right? So my buddy Nui, I can't remember what the bill was, but it was like the electric bill, utility bill, whatever the deal is. But we always gave him money, always gave him cash, and he was supposed to pay that bill. But we never saw the bill because Nui was always at home earlier than everybody else, always got the mail.
Sure.
Finally, one day, Nui's not there. I get the bill. We are 6 months delinquent on this bill. They're about ready to cut the power off.
What is he spending the money on?
Video games.
Whatever.
Music.
Jesus. Just stop spending. Yeah.
Food, fast food, all these things. And the thing was that we owed so much money that none of us had it in us.
Of course.
To be able to make rears, to come up with all this money for like 6 months of a bill. Because it was going to cost us each like $300 a piece.
Oh, man.
But we'd given him the money on a monthly basis. He just never paid the damn bill. So the question, how did you get screwed over? A Montreal man, he's fighting a parking ticket he says was given minutes after Cruz set up a bus stop, apparently without warning. Follow along. Lino Mastaloni says early in the morning of April 1st, his daughter showed up and gave him a ticket she'd received of her car parked overnight on the street in front of their home. It wasn't an April Fool's joke, but he says there was a lot of confusion. You see, there'd never been a bus stop in front of his house. The night before, there's parking on the street.
Wait, he parked in front of his home?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
But after looking at their doorbell camera video, the family says the Transportation Department of Montreal workers were out front, and they put up a new bus stop sign on their front lawn shortly before 8 a.m. They say the video then shows a city parking agent ticketing the car at 8:05.
Wait, it went up at 8?
The sign went up at 8. They had no notice.
And 5 minutes later,
that they were going to even have a bus stop. Not only was the sign in their yard, but they just erected it at 8 a.m. She was parked there the night before. They give her a ticket at 8:05. So he called 311, but was told they can't cancel a ticket that was already issued. So he would have to contest the fine. So he says, now I got to waste my time to go to contest this ticket. And if they refuse, I actually got to go to court and spend 4 or 5 hours in a courtroom to fight the ticket, which is completely wrong. I'd have to miss work. He said the new sign should have been flagged well before it went into effect.
You don't say.
Now, the agency says they do not inform area residents of the installation or relocation of a stop, adding there are approximately 10,000 bus stops in the city of Montreal. So drivers need to be vigilant. They said he's got a good case, but he has to contest the fine. And there's nothing he could have done to prevent it. I mean, you're not going to go and check every 5 minutes to see if they're changing signage and then move your car.
Right.
He adds that since the sign went up, he has not seen any buses on his street. So they haven't even started the route yet. they're getting ready for it, but there's no reason for them not to be able to park there yet.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Random.
Hello, Ray. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Ray, welcome to the program. And the random question. Okay, let's see here. Okay, since we're talking about getting tickets for no reason, let me think here. All right, no, I'm going to go with a different one.
Oh, I got a good ticket, man.
What'd you get?
Okay, so I'm mad at my wife still to this day. Okay? I am asleep in the back of the car. Okay, now, when it comes to my wife and I, she's an angel, I'm a devil.
Of course.
And I drive like a race car driver, and she drives like a grandma, which she is. We are grandparents. But anyway, I'm in the back seat of the car sleeping. Okay? She's driving. Our son's in the car, our oldest son, and he's in his 20s because we're going to a casino.
Okay.
And she freaking gets pulled over for speeding. Okay? She's the perfect driver, right? She don't do stuff like this, okay? But she's yakking to her oldest son and loses track of her speed. She gets pulled over for speeding, okay? They wake my ass up, pull me out of the car, and they're like, well, you're getting a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. I'm like, man, I was sleeping. They're like, we don't care. You didn't wear a seatbelt. Her ticket was $85. Mine was $145.
So wait, you were in the back seat?
Did you get a separate ticket from her?
Yeah, I got a separate ticket from her because I was sleeping in the back seat without having a seatbelt on.
Is it a law that you must have a seatbelt on in the back seat if you're sleeping, or just in general? Really?
In general.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, when I was driving around with my buddies one time, and the cop pulled me over because my buddy was snoozing in the front seat, and he clearly didn't have a seatbelt on.
That's fair.
And he came up to the window, and he says, "I need your license, and I need your license," and he pointed to my buddy, and yeah, both of us could have faced a ticket for that one.
Okay,
that's why I just thought that back seat you didn't have to. I did not know.
No, period. If you're in the car, you need to be seatbelted in, and as the driver, you need to not move until people are seatbelted into your car.
Okay.
Random.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
We're doing fine. How are you, Daniel?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Hey, really quick, can I expand upon your idea to rename SeaTac?
What would you pick?
Okay, so no, I want to expand on it. You guys want Hendrix and Lee. I want to add Cobain. So we have HLC International Airport.
HLC. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Hendrix, Lee, Cobain. I think it makes awesome sense.
All right. Not a bad idea. All right, Daniel, let me see here. What do I got for you? Okay, let's go this one. Daniel, who have you been mistaken for? Who were you mistaken for?
So there are actually two people I get mistaken for. When I wear my glasses, I look
Clark
like
Kent.
Bob Saget. Huh?
No, go ahead.
When I wear my glasses, I look like Bob Saget, and when I don't wear my glasses, I look like McLovin. So I get confused with them all the time, and they was a joke amongst all of my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I did not expect
Do you have
anything.
a McLovin fake driver's license?
No, I do not. But in my 20s, I had a very, very youthful-looking face. So people gave me crud about it all the time.
Okay.
Hey, don't take no crud, man.
All right.
People get crud, I get angry.
I've often said that McLovin looks like a glassesless Bob Saget.
Bob Saget, yeah.
You've been mistaken for
Jerry Rice,
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, where the sushi chef would not stop bowing at me. Like it interrupted the meal just based on I'm facing where he's making my sushi. We're down in Miami at this point. And every time I glanced up, as you do, he's looking at me smiling. But as soon as we made eye contact, he would like put his hands together and bow like, ah. And I'm like, look, I don't know why he's doing it. My wife's like, what is with this guy? I'm like, look, dude, I don't know. But culturally, do I bow back? I mean, like, what do you do? But seriously, for the hour we're there, this mofo must have bowed at me like 30 freaking times. And I'm like, this is insane. With this big ass, like Steve Harvey smile on his face, man. Right? So the waiter finally comes up and says, hey, man, look, I know that you are not, but the chef is convinced that you're Dennis Rodman. I'm like, that's the ugliest mother effer on the face of the planet. Really, man? But I got about half my meal for free. So I'm like, Dennis, it shall be.
And you got Snoop Dogg, too, right?
That was on the plane. We got first-class tickets sitting on the plane. I'm in the final row of first class. So as you're watching everyone else get on, it takes forever, right, for people to load in. And there's this old white dude, he's probably like 75 years old. I see him get on. We make eye contact. No big deal. I kind of glance back down at my book. I look back up. He's still looking at me. And I'm like, I just feel like he wants to talk to me. So maybe he's a fan of the show. We're flying back to Seattle. So it makes sense. They're Seattle people. And so when he finally gets next to me, he leans down. And this is the exact quote. Hey, you're not the Snoop Dogg, are you? And I was the Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Nah, brother, I say he's too cool for me, man. I'm not. Yep. Okay, I wanted to make sure.
Reason we asked, who were you mistaken for?
The Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Hey, you must be one of those rappers. You're in first class.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Hugh Grant, the actor, was mistaken at immigration at London's Heathrow Airport recently. Hugh revealed in a tweet that they quizzed his children this past Friday. Quote, just came through Heathrow with the wife and children. We all have the same last name on our passports. Immigration officials engages my children in chit-chat, then whispers to my one kid, are these your mom and dad? That was intrusive, insulting, and creepy. Hugh and his wife, Anna.
That's what they ask, dude. Relax.
They have 3 kids together, 12, 9, and 7. He has 2 kids with another woman. Not clear which kids he was traveling with. He believes it's this. He's 64 years old, and he looks too old to have kids that young. So maybe that's the fact with the older guy with the young kids, maybe raise some red flags, but either way.
You're traveling internationally. My son looks just like me if I had hair, and they ask him every time, are these your parents? And like I said, my son will point at me and be like, that guy? I'm like, bro, not funny in an airport, man.
He thinks it is.
Yeah.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today, Major League Ballparks and hot sauce. That is coming up at 4:30. If we got your emails on the way next from the men's room at KISW.com.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Want to travel like a savvy jet setter? No, that doesn't mean monogramming your passport. It means making smart decisions every step of your trip, which means knowing your options. Smart Travel unpacks the facts, like which booking sites actually save money, how to fly first class using points, and if that fancy travel card is a smart investment. All so you can save more on your next adventure. Follow Smart Travel from NerdWallet today and start traveling like a pro.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... Hyundai vehicles have won over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards from 2006 to 2024.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's Precision Fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at Danner.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit Condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category is the 10 Major League ballparks that you need to visit in Major League Baseball. And hot sauce coming up with your guess is as good as mine. First time, though, for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com. Let's see here, guys. One birthday. Happy birthday to our dog, Walter, who is turning the Big Ten today. He's a dog. No. He's been with Jen through thick and thin. How about a fish sandwich? A coach said, telling him to have fun at the Mariners game at the ballpark tonight.
Is it dog night?
Is it bark in the park tonight?
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you this one because it's bark in the park now. How's that?
Now,
You're not going to give it to him?
we're not doing. We don't do dogs or deaths, right?
Okay.
Didn't we have a set of rules?
Fish sandwich.
Yeah, we do.
So this dog's going to a game. He's special.
He's 10. You know.
What about your dog that you had before it died, or Mike's dog, or Thrill's dog?
Yeah.
What about the Everman's dog?
Actually, I didn't read the whole thing through, Ted. I realized it was our dog. Then I'm like, oh, God, a dog. Sorry. My bad.
No.
Yeah, no birthday for you.
No dogs.
Rough. Exactly. All right, Pacholas, hopefully we'll see you Saturday. Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour Stop number 3, Muckleshoot Casino with the reunited New Originals. The show is this Saturday at 2 o'clock. It is absolutely free. We will have the Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company. We'll have the Men's Room Beer Brats from Uli's Famous Sausage. And, of course, the Men's Room IPA and 20th Anniversary Lager from Black Raven Brewing.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Come drink with us for a free show and good times as we say cheers to 20 years and benefit our friends at the Fisher House. So, again, if you're in Auburn on Saturday, make it a point. Stop by in the afternoon. Get some beers with us. Now, we do have some updated locations on the Men's Room IPA and the Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager. Oh, yes. Contestant on the line now for your guess is as good as mine, 206-803-ROCK. Okay. You are headed to the ballpark tonight. We're playing the Astros, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The beer is available at the All-Star Club and the Level Bar 243.
Yeah.
And also the 132 Natural Beer Stand. So that's where the beer is located.
All right.
If you're headed down tonight. Here's another email. Guys, just had a few Men's Room IPAs from Hagen in Lake Stevens. So I'm feeling some type of way, but I just watched Interstellar for the first time. I'm wondering what, Steve, your favorite space movies are since you're a big space nerd.
I don't know, man. I mean, it starts with Star Wars, obviously, which really has about as much to do with space as...
Exactly.
Interstellar's pretty decent. I mean, it's a long watch, but I actually enjoy watching it. I got a little science in there, but...
People seem to really like Interstellar.
Look, either you're going to like it or hate it. Like, Ted, you'd probably hate it. I really enjoyed it, right? Because they get deep into the science of everything as well. A little longer than it needs to be, but also, that said, I'm a Christopher Nolan apologist. If the man makes a movie, I'll watch the movie, and there's a very good chance I'll enjoy it. So he did Interstellar, the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale.
All right,
What's
I like
the
that
one
Batman.
with oh goddamn, I can't think of Leonardo DiCaprio, Crazy Dream, Inception.
Okay.
So Tenet, pretty good movie. Yeah, I like his stuff, man.
All the guys enjoyed a divine lunch on Saturday at the Corner Pub in tiny Bow, Washington. Their brisket, by the way, is a must-have. They made a deal with the devil or something. It's so good. And they have the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven on draft.
All right.
Go have a pint and brisket mac and cheese as well. That from Mary in Tacoma. What else do we got? Men's Room Lager.
Sounds good. Sounds like a cool bar.
Yes, it does.
After diligently checking the beer aisle. And the end caps. At my local Fred Meyer and Lacey for literally months, they had the lager. It is unsurprisingly delicious. But even my wife, who does not generally like beer, says it's really good. Loving, guys, the partnership with Black Raven and hope they keep making more excellent beers that I can excuse as technically contributing to a charitable cause when I buy them.
We got you, man.
Cheers, guys. That from Chris. Guys, I was just at the Marysville Albertsons off of State Street and found 6 packs of the 20th anniversary lager. They're in the walk-in cooler, but I decided to make space for them on the shelf. No, I do not work there. I just wanted to make sure the delicious lager was visible for other lucky customers. Doing my part to support the Fisher House by rearranging the grocery store.
Well done.
I love the guys from Wojak.
Yes, man. Yeah, I mean, it's getting it done.
I found the lager tapped at the Twisted Lime Pub in Mill Creek. Rock on, guys. That from Brian.
I've been there a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and one more. We just got our first keg of Men's Room IPA at Coffee Pub Northwest in Tumwater. Super excited. Keep on rocking, guys, and we love the show. Cheers. That from Craig and from Don. All right, time for a little Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. We get a contestant on the line. You pick from one of 2 categories, and then see how many you can get right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant, ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Dave, welcome to the program. And your guess is as good as mine. All right, Dave, your categories today. We have 10 major league ballparks that you need to visit. Now, Dave, I'll tell you what we'll do here. As far as the category goes, we had a hard time early on in the show just coming up with the name of whatever the new ballpark is down in San Francisco. Not new, but
Oracle.
Newly named.
Yeah, someone texted in. It's Oracle Park.
It used to be AT&T Park.
Yeah.
If you just give me the team and that stadium, you'll be close enough.
Yeah, that
Now,
works.
don't guess the Cubs without saying Wrigley Field. I mean, there's certain ones there I'm not going to give you a pass on. But it's 10 major league ballparks that every fan needs to visit. And then, Dave, the other category is Americans' favorite 10 hot sauces. And they're basically broken down, believe it or not, more geographically than not. You don't have to worry about that. All you need, Dave, are the 10 favorite hot sauces in the United States. So do you want to go ballparks or do you want to go hot sauce?
You know, I'll go ballparks, but they change those names so often. I don't know if I'll get 10. We'll try, though.
Oh, that's why we're like, look, if you can get the team,
Yeah.
If you can get close.
Right.
Why didn't you explain that, Miles?
I don't know.
Just make
what
it
I was
easy
thinking.
for us.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
who knew Oracle Park? But Dave, just tell us the team, the city, and if the ballpark is on the list, we'll give it to you. Okay? If you know the ballpark, you can name it by name if you like. All right, so Dave, you know how the game is played. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out.
Let's go with the Red Sox in Fenway Stadium.
Okay, it's on the list, Dave. And these are in no particular order, by the way. They did not rank them 1 through 10.
Fenway Park.
I know, it was killing you, wasn't it?
I couldn't let it go. Fenway Stadium. Like, no.
Yeah.
What number was that, Miles?
They're not numbered. Okay. These are just 10 in no particular order. Okay?
Just to be fair, are there any ball clubs that play in a stadium, or are they all parks, fields?
I think Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
That's
all right,
it, right?
Fair call.
They say
That was my
Fenway
next guess.
is a nostalgia bomb. You feel like you're right on top of the action. It has the most unique outfield fence setup in all of Major League Baseball, and the fans are passionate. Fenway Park is a bucket list item for any baseball fan, and I have not yet gone there. So.
I've been there a few times. Great place to see a game. The seats absolutely suck.
Okay.
That's what I've heard, but I have not been. Yeah.
All right, Dave, 1 for 1 with Fenway Park. What's your next guess?
We'll go Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium. Believe it or not, the brand new Yankee Stadium not on the list as far as a must-see ballpark.
I can believe that.
Because it's the new one.
It's new and it's not
So,
right.
the way you worded that, does that mean that the old Yankee Stadium may be on there?
No.
They can't now. It's gone.
We're suggesting why Yankee Stadium isn't on there. I did go to Yankee Stadium, the old one, last year. It was around.
And the new one yet?
Now.
Okay. All right. Okay, Dave, you've got
How about,
one.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave.
Let's go Oriole Park.
Oriole Park at Camden Yards. That
Good
is
call.
on the list.
Absolutely.
The 60s, 70s, and 80s gave us cookie-cutter ballparks, they say, decided to fit in as many people as possible in typically two sport parks.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Oriole Park at Camden Yards, opening in 1992. It kicked off basically a ballpark renaissance in Major League Baseball.
It absolutely did.
Honoring past legendary parks while embracing the future. It's a shrine to baseball in a way, and many consider it to be the best park in the league. All right, you got two, Dave. You got Fenway and Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Go Minute Maid Park, which I think is the Devil Rays home stadium, isn't it? Home field?
Now, you're thinking Tropicana. Minute Maid's the Astros.
Oh, my bad. Tropicana is what I was thinking.
Tropicana Field.
No.
No way.
That place is a dump. It doesn't even have a roof right now.
I know. There's a reason they're not playing there this year.
I mean, it's literally considered like one of the worst stadiums.
All right, let's go St. Louis Stadium right there by the Arch.
That's on the list. Busch Stadium. Want to go to a ballpark with great scenery and knowledgeable fans? Busch Stadium, the place to go. You won't find better fans in all of baseball. They say in the Gateway Arch is in the background. Check out Ballpark Village, just outside of the stadium if you're there.
I've been there.
I stayed at the hotel right next to that ballpark and been able to look into it, but I've never stepped foot in it.
I was at the little town that they got next to it, and I was able to see into the field, and I do want to go into that park, but I wasn't able to get in there.
Okay, Dave, you got three. You got Busch Stadium, Fenway Park, and Oriole Park at Camden Yards. There are 7 stadiums left out of the 10 must-visit ballparks.
Let's go with Giants Stadium. San Francisco Giants.
All right, that's
Oracle
fair.
Park.
Giants Stadium?
Oracle Park.
Oracle Park.
You're calling that stadium. Sorry, I'm a football fan more than baseball.
We were getting that, yeah.
Shockingly not on the list. It really is.
I love that stadium.
I do too.
Dude, I would have picked that one in a hot second.
Okay.
How many? Is he got 2 X's or 3? He's done.
He's done, but
All right, let's just go
Wrigley.
real quickly. Let's get Wrigley out of the way.
Wrigley. That is on the list. It's not modern, though they've modernized it to some points. It's not fancy, though. It's added some amenities. But if you're looking to be transported back in time, only Fenway Park can compare with Wrigley Field on nostalgia. And again, it is a bucket list item for any sports fan.
Correct.
Dodger Stadium.
Ooh,
Dodger
not
Stadium.
bad.
Just because the Dodgers are there, not because the stadium itself.
Yep. Dodger Stadium, not on the must list.
All right, how about, is it still Petco down in San Diego? I know people like that park.
It's a great park.
Yes, it is Petco, and it is on the list.
All right.
What about T-Mobile?
Well, as far as Petco goes, the weather is almost always great in San Diego. There are a few better places to watch a baseball game. Good ballpark food, great sight lines, modern amenities make Petco Park a top option, and the fact it's located in the Gaslamp. We're adding in that to that. Okay, so Petco is on the list. Go ahead, Mike.
What about T-Mobile Park? I feel like we got one of the most beautiful parks in the country on this one.
T-Mobile Park is beautiful.
Damn it!
Not on the list.
Really?
Nope.
I think that just got to be not enough people have visited.
Right.
My
Maybe.
brother is a baseball nerd.
Yeah.
And they absolutely love that park.
Dude, it's great sight lines. It's a great park. A lot of food. It's in the right place. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with T-Mobile.
There was one I was just thinking of. I can't.
Some of these are going to shock you.
What about yours? The Pittsburgh one, PNC.
PNC Park is on the list.
Yep.
They say the Pirates are hampered by poor ownership, but PNC Park is an absolute gem of a ballpark in terms of setup, sight lines. It's close to perfect, and the city skyline is visible in the background. Many think this is the best park in Major League Baseball, and they've got a good argument, according to the article.
Okay.
I mean, just because it's new, maybe Detroit?
Detroit. Not on the list.
All right.
Yep.
What about Miller Park?
Miller Park.
Got a big old slide up there. Damn it!
Mike and I are obsessed with the Midwest, so let's go Minnesota. Target Field.
Target Field is on the list, Terry.
Right.
They say building an outdoor ballpark in Minneapolis is a bit of a risk given the early and late season weather, but Target Field, which opened in 2010, is an immaculate place for baseball. Sight lines are great. The architecture rivals any ballpark in the league, and the mild Minnesota summers make watching a game there pleasant. Okay. So far, you guys have gotten Target Field correct. Dave got Oriole Park and Fenway Park. You've gotten PNC Park, where the Pittsburgh Pirates play. Dave also got Busch Stadium, but you guys got Petco and Wrigley. So there are 3 ballparks left on the list of the top 10 ballparks in Major League Baseball.
Did he run over it completely by accident and then skip it? Minute Maid Park, is that on there, or wherever the Astros are playing now?
It is not on the list.
Damn.
All right. Come on, let's put on our thinking caps.
The ballpark at Arlington down there in Texas.
You do, but
that doesn't get great reviews.
I'll give you a hint. 3 of these are National League ballparks, if that helps.
City Field where the Mets play?
City Field is on the list.
All right.
The ballpark is fine in and of itself, but if you're a ballpark food aficionado, there's no finer place to take in a game. City Field always ranks as the top of baseball in terms of ballpark food, as the options are more or less a culinary tour, they say, of the Big Apple.
What about Coors Field?
Coors Field is on the list.
Oh, all right.
They say the best summer baseball weather may be in Denver. Even though the Rockies stink, everyone loves seeing games at Coors Field. Plus, you're almost guaranteed to see 9,000 home runs.
Yeah. That's another one.
In
I
one
have
game.
seen the outside of it.
Yeah,
I haven't been in it.
We going east or west of the Mississippi there, Miles?
We're going east and National League.
East.
Is it the Nationals Park?
It is not the Nationals Park.
Who else is
All
over
right.
there? Not the Yankees.
Atlanta?
Not Atlanta.
Okay, good.
The Miami Marlins?
No,
Not
way.
Miami. That's a goofy-looking park.
What else is National League over there?
From the text lines, it says Citizens Bank Park in Philly.
Citizens Bank Park has
wow.
proved to be a huge upgrade over Veterans Stadium and brings a classic yet modern feel. The food is similar to Citi Field, and then it's really just a culinary tour of the city of Philadelphia, which they say is fantastic. Amenities are modern, but the focus is still on the baseball. It is a sensational place to watch baseball.
It's a good-looking park, man. We drove by it last summer when we were in Philly, and it really is a good-looking park. Did not see inside of it. I'm like, all right, Philly. And by the way, everything is an upgrade over Veterans Stadium. If they played in a toilet bowl, it is an upgrade over Veterans Stadium.
So, according to Garrett Carr at Bro Bible, and he visited every stadium, these are the 10 Major League ballparks you need to visit. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Petco Park in San Diego, Wrigley Field in Chicago, in Colorado, Coors Field, Citi Field where the Mets play, PNC Park where the Pirates are at, Fenway, Citizens Bank Park in Philly, Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and finally Target Field, where the Minnesota Twins play baseball. All right, coming up at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, darling. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Plumbing backs up and things get stinky. Call Pinky's.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids to a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
When water from the pipes was pouring down, filed a claim with his
around.
Across America, over 600,000 small businesses look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at hiscox.com.
'Cause there's no business like small business.
Like no business we know.
Get a quote today with Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up here at 5:08. We will drink until.
Hang on.
Yep,
Sorry, I'm
that's
hitting
it.
buttons all over the place right now. Okay.
Coming up at 5:08, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Holick and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. A new study found that most Americans want to read more. We just don't.
Well, then you're not wanting to that much.
What is your definition of reading?
Like grab a book and read it?
You know what I mean?
Right, I see
Because
what you're
I
saying.
am on a computer a lot of the day just doing research. I'm reading nonstop.
Right,
It's
but
not
I
really
think-
considered. If they were in a magazine, I'm like, I read all the time.
Right, reading
But-
for pleasure, though. This is all doom scrolling
There
and
you
news.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. Reading in a way that's constructive to your mental health.
Right. I mean,
You know.
everyone reads every day for sure, but
Right.
like, there's no particular joy in it.
And I'll be that guy. Why do we put so much stress on making sure that we read for pleasure?
I think it relaxes your brain.
You know, because
It gets parts of your brain's working you wouldn't normally. You have to envision what's going on. They're giving you a description.
right. I
You know,
mean,
it's
so
like
does
planning-
watching TV though. That'll relax you.
No, because you can see it.
No, it'll relax you, but you're not really using your
Yeah, you're not. Your
not
brain's
the
not
same
working.
way.
Because it's already there for you.
Sure, but
So
isn't
when
the
you
point the
read-
escape?
Well, depends. Reading exercises your brain. Television is an escape. Two different things. An amusement park's an escape. Exercising, which is also a lot of activity.
Sure.
Right? That you're actually using something.
Let me ask you this: Would listening to a podcast give you the same mental function as reading a book?
Not generally, but a little bit.
Okay. See what I mean? Though they're telling you a story. You know, we have people that are listening to this show, and we're swapping stories all day long.
Sure.
So, does listening to this show kind of give you the same mental workout as reading a book would?
I mean, to a degree, because, you know, the one thing that we exclude from it is you know what the voices sound like.
Sure.
But you can envision the thing, sure. So
Yeah.
that part of your brain, but reading uses a lot more than it does to listen because it's being fed to you. Where reading, you have to absorb it.
Right.
And comprehend it on your own.
Yeah. This is smart. They've actually done it, folks. KFC has made a fried chicken toothpaste.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I brush my teeth to get the Kentucky Fried Chicken out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you invent mint-flavored chicken?
Why don't you just gargle vegetable oil?
Yeah, I'm with you. That seems odd. As much as I like fried chicken, generally you brush your teeth afterwards. I don't
But
need
they
to-
know this. So
Yeah.
it's like, you're going to buy it anyway because it's a novelty item, but yeah. That's
Well,
it.
and
Like I could
toothpaste.
fathom that log that smelled like fried chicken.
Sure. But the thing is that toothpaste was developed and it didn't really have a flavor. We just kind of associated mint with freshness.
Exactly.
You know, you ate mint or it was in something and it just you felt more refreshed when you had it. So
Yeah,
we
it's
just
like
decided
citrus, mint, whatever.
There you go. So
Yeah.
we decided that anything that has to do with dental health, we wanted to make that mint.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, fried chicken flavor, it would.
Yeah, it's still clean.
Right, it's all
just not what you
mental.
associate. Right.
If I felt fried chicken coming out of my mouth every time I talked, I would still feel self-conscious. You know, smell my breath, man. Like, oh, you smell like you just had lunch. It's not a happy thing. A group developed an AI therapy bot that a new study says shows, quote, amazing potential.
Okay.
So maybe AI therapists are on the way.
I mean, what's the difference? It's giving you the same advice. I'm sure basically they just took all the crap the therapists say, right? And
Sure.
it goes through it all. You pick the right words for the right situation.
Right.
Because it's not a physical thing, right? It's mental. It's the words of someone, suggestions that people give you to improve something. It
And the
doesn't
tools
matter.
that they give you to be able to process emotions and mental
Yeah.
spaces and whatnot.
Exactly.
And it won't work for everybody, but
No.
maybe some people just need the pep talk.
I mean, that's a lot of it, you know?
I don't know. The Merriam-Webster word of the day, malleable.
Malleable.
Like a metal or
Yeah.
a person?
Gold is very malleable.
Yeah. How you guys went on that one. Good job.
Well, I mean, that's what I would say, right? Somebody, you could be a little more malleable.
Yeah.
Or you're
the
too malleable,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. A quote-unquote shocking number of people said that they would undergo the severance procedure from the show in real life.
I just started watching that, and it's a good show, and I'd never do it.
About to say, I don't feel like it paints the severance procedure in a very good light.
Well, the problem is when you're at work. So, just starting to watch the show, maybe 3 episodes in, And it's like, yet you forget work when you go home. I think that's where people are coming from.
Sure.
But the flip side is when they show up at work, the one woman's like, what is today? And the guy, he's keeping a calendar. He's like, oh, it's Monday. So she's like, I don't know what I did this weekend. I do not know if I have a family. I don't know if I had a good time or a bad time. And it's like, but it doesn't matter. Maybe you had a horrible time. Maybe you had a good. Why does it matter to you? You're back at work. She's like, I felt like I was just here. It's like, right, because your last memory, the way they do it in the show, your last memory was leaving work.
Sure.
And now you're back.
I don't think it's that shocking that a lot of people would do it.
Yeah.
Like for the bulk of people, unfortunately, like your job is just that. It's just a job. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
not everybody does something they love. So it's like if you didn't have to worry about the stress of it and your body would still just go do it. Like I personally, I could see where people would be like, all right, sure, why not?
But you think about the other elements. I hear what you're saying, but the flip side is when you get to, because you're not unaware that you have a personal life. You're aware that you got the procedure, right? So it's something you volunteered to do, the way the show paints it. But everyone, like, I don't know what I did this week. I don't even know if I'm married, right? I don't know
Right,
if
so
I'm
work
kids.
me, and that's going to be the issue in the show.
But they also make friendships. So you might not like your job. I had a lot of jobs I hated, but I have very good friends that I worked with. But like when you go home, like I don't remember that because you can't even make it. Hey man, you want to get a drink tonight after work? Like that's out.
Yeah, it sucks for the guy part of me that has to go to work, and I think that's part of the basis of the show, right? Is the working people are like, wait a minute, the other half of me is enjoying life.
Well, they don't know if they are. That's the whole.
They don't
thing.
know yet.
They
but
really.
yeah.
I mean, obviously the show is headed that direction, but they're like, look, man, are you married? Like, I don't know.
I haven't watched it. I just had a cousin describe it to me, and I was like, look, I like my job, but like, I don't know. For a lot of, I know plenty of people that like they don't like. You know what I mean? It's just their job is just their job. They take pride in it. They're good at it, but it's like. It's not fun.
And I understand the allure to that, but for me, like, I work because of what I've got waiting for me at home. I work to eventually get home at the end of the day.
But then the problem is when you get to work, you don't know what your motivation is to do it.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't
If I've
mean
got
you
that
like your
severance.
job. That's the thing.
That's
So
why I
even
have
if
a
you
flashlight.
don't like your job, even if you don't like your job and you did the severance thing, at least for the time that you're at work, and they work 8-hour days in the show, but for 8 hours, you just hate your life.
Right.
Right? That's the flip side.
You
right?
don't know why you're
hate
doing
my
this.
job. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't. Am I taking care? Why am I doing this job? And they don't, based on the show, they don't necessarily just let you quit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyway, so
do
it's
I have
like,
a roof that I'm paying for? Do I have a college fund that I'm trying to get in there? Do I have a vacation that I'm trying to pay for?
Why am I doing that?
Right.
I hate this job. And that's part of where the show's going now. There's just this one woman like, I don't like this job, but while I'm at work, the only memory I have is of this SE job. That
It makes work worse when you think about it. Which you're saying, like, yeah, it sucks for Severance Me, but I don't want to do that to Severance Me.
Right, at home, you's having a blast. There's no pressure. You don't have to sweat work. You don't worry about it because you know your body's just going to go do it.
So
Well,
does that
sort
mean...
of. Here's the problem, though. So, just again, based on the show, they know they have a job.
Yeah.
And getting the severance surgery is voluntary. And this one guy's explaining to people at a dinner party what he does, and they're like, are you sure? And he's like, you know what, man? Honestly, like, I don't know. I think
That's a
I
good
work
point.
in research.
I could be a contract
I could
killer.
be a hitman.
Yeah.
But legitimately, you don't know.
So does that mean on like a Saturday, if Castle calls me, I'm like, who in the hell is this?
You would not know who he is.
That's exactly right.
I know.
You would not know who he is.
He would not know who you are.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He wouldn't call you because he'd be like, who the hell is it, Mike?
The radio station's down like, who do I call for that? What happens?
Right.
What do I need to do? Or does the severance lock in then?
That would be weird to work in radio. So on the weekend, they do a replay of the show. I'm like, God damn, that guy sounds like me. I swear to God, every weekend.
Dude, that would suck for an actor, though.
But actually...
Because all of a sudden a movie comes out, it's like, holy God, that's me.
Oh, my God. No wonder I'm so rich.
Damn, I'm with that in there? All right. How was that scene? Miles, what day is it, my friend?
It is, hold on for 1 second. I knew this earlier.
You got it. You got it.
National Beer Day.
Oh, you're so close. It's National Beaver Day.
Beaver.
Top 10.
Yeah.
The Top 10.
10 facts about your furry little beaver. Bet you didn't know that ancient Egyptians believed that male beavers bit off their own testicles. But why, you ask? In other medieval writings, it's believed beavers were hunted because their bits had medicinal properties. Well, I can tell you I've seen my fair share of beavers in the day, and there's no doubt in my mind of the healing powers of those beavers. And boy, are they eager.
Dear God.
Yeah.
So ancient Egyptians thought the male beaver's genitals had healing properties.
Right.
Like, who comes? Are they like the original? Like there's all this BS that you hear, like TikTok challenges and crap.
Right.
Like, it's never been any different. Some guy's like, "Hey man, a beaver penis, that'll help you out."
Well, VD and I had a conversation before this, and
About
apparently
beaver penis?
about beaver testicles. Yeah, and apparently a beaver's testicles are housed inside of their body. They're not exterior like a lot of other mammals, and so that's why they thought that beavers just chewed them off. Now, where the healing properties came in,
that's my question.
He related it to the same people that are, you go onto social media, there's a lot of just stupid harebrained stuff that's on there.
Of course.
The same people existed back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. The more you we don't change as people. We just have different access and different ways to get the message.
Correct. So here's some interesting facts about beavers. Beavers form monogamous pairs and usually live in family groups of up to 8 related individuals called colonies.
Is that a multi-generational house?
Right. Is this a West Virginia situation or
so they're together with one female beaver, but like what? Her cousins get to live with this? I'm just
Sounds
like
awful.
Tina coming over.
The younger siblings stay with their parents for up to 2 years, helping with infant care, food collection, and dam building. So it does kind of become a community. When they branch off, I
but
don't
they put
know.
them to work. I dig that.
Exactly.
Hey, you're going to be under my roof.
They
You're gonna help me
live
build
in
a dam.
different steps of the dam. So some will have a nest under like the first,
All
and
right.
then the second ladder they build. Then there'll be more there.
Okay.
At least that's
Gotcha.
yeah. So you'll find like 2 or 3 different groups all living in the same cascading dammed up area.
Huh.
They'll have different nests.
Gotcha. So who gets the really,
The
shoddy
penthouse, I don't know.
shoddy work?
I'm guessing
where-
mom and dad.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, the penthouse goes to mom and dad,
Yeah.
but like which of the kids gets the ones like if a really bad rain comes down, like Miles is getting washed out. We don't know if we'll find him again. Beaver families are territorial and defend against other families.
Yes, they do.
Much
Beavers
like
are like the
every
mafia,
animal.
dude.
I mean, I'm territorial.
Hell yeah.
This is my house. You cannot just come in there and like. I don't find that weird. Like, this is my home.
Right.
If I feel threatened or someone's trying to take it, there's going to be a fight.
I just like the idea of a big old round table of beavers, and they're like, the Hill family's moving in on our colony over here. We need to set an example. We need to
break his,
fall a tree or two,
pull his testicles out of his body.
I mean, right. We were saying earlier about buying the house, and the guy's like, squatters' rights.
You think beavers got that?
Well, I'm just
Try
saying,
to kick me out of the dam, bitch.
Right, can't be like beavers. Like, oh, they protect their dam. It's like, yeah, that's their home.
Yeah, right, dude.
It's like most creatures do that.
He fell into the river, you know what I mean? Some fun beaver facts. In order to warn family members of danger, beavers, you guys know what the beavers do to warn their family of danger?
I figured it was like a ring cam.
Smack their tail in the water.
That's exactly what they do. They slap their tail against the water, creating a big old powerful noise. Just a big old paddle, so
that works.
It works, it did.
Yeah, beaver stuff.
Beaver slap.
Caught a beaver slap at 06. Never forget it.
Would you go to a strip club called the Beaver Slap?
Oh, I would.
I know you would. I wasn't asking you to.
It's just a neon light of a beaver like doing the action of slapping its tail on the ground. Some fun and interesting beaver facts. Beavers are primarily crepuscular.
What
does that mean?
They are only occasionally seen during the day. They usually wake at dusk and are also active at dawn. So they're not exactly nocturnal.
But just kind of, yeah.
They don't do a whole lot
the
during
dusk
the day.
to dawn animals, yeah. We had a
There
big
you
dummy
go.
question about that.
Because it's hard to, like, if you got a beaver, if you got a beaver problem on your property and they keep making dams, like, it's hard to get them out of there.
Right, because it's in the middle of the night when they're doing all their work out there.
There was a lake by my house. If you went on that lake, that beaver would come out every single time and check you out.
No kidding.
Depending on if it had children or whatever the deal
What are you
was.
doing on my river?
A little bit more aggressive.
Did
but
it ever get
always-
used to you, like the crows in the neighborhood, where they go, all right, he's a non-threat. I've seen this guy for 3 years. He's not
No.
threatening. No, there's still like.
I mean, I was working a Boy Scout camp on this lake, and we had to every time before we went out, like, listen, we will warn you, but I will be the in between. You guys take off and go back in, and I'll try to keep this thing away from you.
All right.
how fast can they move on land? Like, if it starts chasing your ass.
Oh, there was always in the water, so I never saw
okay.
one on land. I mean, you could see the after effects.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what they've done. But
Yeah,
I never
you-
saw one working on a piece of wood. you know?
And I wouldn't screw with them, man. I've seen a
No.
handful of videos. Like, beavers are mean, man. They suck. Another characteristic of beavers, beyond their tail, which is broad, flat, with large blackish scales, is their teeth. Like all rodents, beavers have large central incisors that are always growing. They must keep them trimmed by gnawing bark. They are actually self-sharpening every time they chew into trees and
That's
whatnot.
not why I'm saying you got buck teeth, brother. That's a buck-tooth squirrel.
Buck-tooth squirrel. Fun and interesting beaver fact. Beavers travel good distances from their homes to find food. If they find a good source, they build canals to the food source as a way to float the food back to their lodges. Logs and twigs are stored underwater for winter feeding.
Damn. So what do they eat? Like fish, I'm guessing?
They are mainly vegetarian, and they eat a lot of, like, water veggies and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I already don't like them.
Water veggies.
Water veggies. Yeah. Getting those water veggies in there.
It does seem weird, because they're kind of a bigger animal that doesn't eat meat.
But those big-ass teeth, you feel like they could rip through anything if they chose
They could, but it's only the two front ones. I don't think they have a whole lot of,
Like molars to grind it down.
Right, they might have those back there for the leaves, but nothing really to carve into an animal. Like, they can carve into a tree because it's good and it's dense and it's hard. Like, chopping through flesh, like, they can do it, but I don't know if they can do it in a capacity to actually eat and then chew up the meat. You know what I mean?
Huh. All right.
This is all right out of my ass. Like,
So
I should have
paleo
stood
diet.
up when I said that. Yeah. Beavers float small trees and branches through canals to the stream that they are building their lodge. The lodge can have several underwater entrances to keep out predators, with a large dry room inside that is used as a nursery and
That's
a
their
haven.
nest, yeah.
The living area is well insulated by the lodge and surrounding water, so the temperature is considerably warmer inside the lodges than outside. Which is just, it's kind of the original log cabin that we took
basically.
notes from.
Abraham Lincoln, they got nothing on the beaver.
He just studied beavers.
I mean, we're going to put beavers on a $5 bill.
It's amazing, though, how accurately they can fell those trees to make that dam, to make that nest underneath.
Absolutely.
Most of the time. Do you remember when we Googled failed
they
beavers
still mess
images?
it up.
Yeah.
Cry my name. Then this is the number one fun beaver fact on International Beaver Day. They are generally beneficial to the environment. They are instrumental in creating habitats for many aquatic organisms, maintaining the water table at an appropriate level, and controlling flooding and erosion, all by building dams. So they do affect their ecosystem second only to man.
Well, remember,
but
we
it's
had,
also for the good.
Well, the beavers did that. Was it, Miles, you watched that same thing. Was it Mount Rainier? Or something like after St. Helens blew? There were like basically nothing was surviving.
Yeah.
And then the beavers showed up and started damming up little creeks and everything.
Oh,
and
the
they kind of
plant life
that one lake up on top of the...
way up high, and they built like these lakes, and then other stuff started returning, and basically the life started because the beavers were like, we got to get back in action.
I remember we had the story, it was a shot of the day a couple of months ago. I don't remember if it was like England or Sweden or something, but they, like anything, they went through bureaucracy trying to figure out this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 days, like beavers showed up, and 2 days later, everything they were going to spend millions of dollars to do, the beavers did.
While I was going through looking for other lists for today, there was one that I saw that basically it saves, our government environmental crew, whatever it is, like tens of thousands of dollars every year just in the environmental impact that they have.
That's wild.
Just exactly from what you're saying. They create life doing what they do.
But don't tell beavers that. They'll demand money.
That's right. They're going to start demanding that tax money. Like, come on, damn it. A group of kids in Russia managed to score every stuffed animal out of an arcade claw machine, but would you believe me if I tell you that they didn't play fair, Miles?
Yes, I would.
I'll tell you how at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, if we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Good time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink test can. Steve with Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast the Tina Turner the Musical.
All right.
Now, as the name suggests, Tina Turner the Musical is in fact a musical about Tina Turner, and it's currently running in London. And my assumption is that if you're going to spend the money to see a Tina Turner musical, you are a fan of Ms. Tina Turner. And if you are a fan of Tina Turner, you probably know that she's dead. She is, in fact, deceased. She died almost 2 years ago. I want to say May of 2023. But that's why we toast the musical, because on the production's website, they have included a disclaimer, and they're not being funny. They're being dead serious. That says Tina will not be appearing in this production of Tina Turner, the musical. I'm very glad they cleared it up. I was just about to buy tickets. That I said, oh, really? Dead Tina Turner. She ain't going to be in the Tina Turner musical.
Oh, man.
Anyone paying money to see the Tina Turner musical, again, a fan of Tina Turner. They know she's dead. I'm glad they had to put a disclaimer. But you know what that tells me? Is that they did not originally have the disclaimer,
and people bitch.
Some dumbass went there and said, that's
Tina.
not Tina Turner. And it's because she's dead.
Came to see Tina.
Where's Tina?
Where's Tina?
It says Tina Turner, the musical.
She's
I
not
don't
in
see
it.
Tina.
I'm their number one fan.
I want my money back.
You would think they'd have Tina.
I don't care if she's dead. I want to see her.
Put out the hologram.
She's got those legs.
They don't quit. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola. All right, it's going to get tested on the line for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Want to travel like a savvy jet setter? No, that doesn't mean monogramming your passport. It means making smart decisions every step of your trip, which means knowing your options. Smart Travel unpacks the facts, like which booking sites actually save money, how to fly first class using points, and if that fancy travel card is a smart investment. All so you can save more on your next adventure. Follow Smart Travel from NerdWallet today and start traveling like a pro.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's Precision Fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at Danner.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
The men's room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Mark. Mark. Hello.
Hey!
You can tell that he's there, man. There's a phone right there. Hello, Mark. I'll try this again. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the men's room.
No Mark. And
he's gone. All right, well, gentlemen, you'll be facing each other. Let's see. Today, you have your choice of one of three categories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? We have Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. And finally, today, I offer you Seriously, where you guess the substance, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence.
I like Bite Me. Haven't done that in a while.
Get yourself an egg and beat it.
All right, here is your story. We go to Grove City, Ohio, where Kai Eccles took a bite of his hash browns at a Grove City Waffle House this month. He said he wound up with something unexpected in his mouth. Eccles said he visited the restaurant around 8 p.m. on March 15th with a group of friends, including Mitchell Gressley, both are regular Waffle House customers. Now, Gressley said, quote, out he spat something that was embedded in the hash browns. Gressley said his partner had ordered the hash browns, smothered and covered with cheese and onions, and Eccles took a bite off of his plate. Says, I thought it was gristle, but it was not gristle. Now, the friends said they notified restaurant staff, and Gressley said he completed Waffle House's online contact form, which resulted in a conversation with an apologetic regional manager. Gressley said they've also been communicating with the company's liability department. Quote, it was said that the regional manager made sure that none of her staff was missing anything. So if it wasn't from the restaurant, potentially it could have come from the distribution center. He said the company provided postage to ship the object to the corporate office. Says they're going to investigate it further, whatever that might mean. Now, both Eccles and Gressley said they weren't sure that, not sure what it would take for them to dine at the Waffle House again, in spite of being regulars. So what did they find in their hash browns? A human tooth, a Band-Aid, a fingertip, or a fingernail. So a human tooth, Band-Aid, fingertip, or fingernail. What do they discover in their hash browns? Man, smothered gravy, that sounds good.
I'll go Band-Aid.
I think it's a fingertip.
Fingertip. Mike?
Because they said, right, like they looked in the kitchen. It's nobody from their kitchen.
Correct.
Yeah, I think you'd notice, like, I would just go in the kitchen and be like, all right, everybody put your hands up.
What?
Right? If Mike's got a nub.
Hey.
I know it's Mike.
Hey, Mikey, 9 fingers.
Exactly. Was fingernail one of them, too?
Yes.
Fingernail, yeah.
I think it's the fingernail because they had to check. Again, you know if somebody's got a nub that's missing. You know if somebody's got a tooth that's missing.
They should know.
Band-Aid was the only other one that I had there, so I'll go nail on that one.
What did the guy bite into in his hash browns? A tooth, a Band-Aid, a fingertip, or a fingernail? We'll find out next.
Was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is a Bite Me on profile. This Ohio man eating a Waffle House, enjoying some delicious hash browns until he bit into something hard. Question is, what did this guy bite into? Tooth, Band-Aid, a fingertip, or a fingernail?
Yes, indeed. Let us start with Mike Hawk. You went with the fingernail.
Damn it.
No. Now we move to Miles Montgomery. He went with the Band-Aid.
Okay.
That leaves V-Ted Smith, who went with the fingertip.
Fingertip.
Oh, no.
Human tooth, man.
It was a tooth.
Which to me, I don't know why. That's just the worst of them in my opinion. God. I mean.
Okay.
Holy.
You know. I did it once, right? I chipped a tooth, but I was shooting an oyster. So I thought it was part of the shell, and I kept crunching it. And then, like... a day later, I'm like, oh, my God, that was my tooth I crunched up and ate.
That means it was above them. Because if they had to check in the back, like, is anybody
Everybody
missing a
smile.
tooth? Like,
Yeah.
no, that came from up top.
That is so
That's
good.
the distributor.
God.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Tia.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today, you got the Jimmys,
Fallon and Kimmel,
Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, Weekend Update, Bill Maher or Ted Smith?
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there. The title is guys have teams of talents and writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
A British woman says her 1-year-old son ate her father's ashes. So in a way, he does have his grandpa's eyes.
SNL.
Ted Smith.
That's SNL.
A British woman says that her 1-year-old son ate her father's ashes. So in a way, he does have his grandpa's eyes.
And entertainment news, yet another Mexico City has come out to announce that they are not hosting the new version of the Fire Festival. And at this point, if you buy tickets to the Fire Festival, you should just throw your money away.
At you.
Yeah, the Ted Smith.
Yeah. Why would anybody think it's ever going to happen?
Well, he made this big announcement, said it was somewhere in Mexico, and the first thing the Mexican authorities said is, we're not saying it's not going to happen. What we're saying is, this is the first we've heard about it.
Right. 2 cities have come out now.
Yeah,
And been like,
we have no
idea
what the hell he's talking about.
Subway has partnered with Doritos to offer a new footlong nachos, but I don't love the slogan. Eat this out of a trough, you pig.
SNL.
Bill Maher.
Weekend update.
Subway has partnered with Doritos to offer new foot-long nachos, but I don't love the slogan, eat out of this trough, you pig.
The restaurant chain Hooters has filed for bankruptcy. Apparently their business model was a bust.
SNL.
Bill Maher.
That's SNL.
The restaurant chain Hooters has filed for bankruptcy. Apparently, their business model was a bust.
That one took a minute for people to get. A ballet dancer broke the record for the longest distance covered while performing a split on 2 moving ATVs, which also inspired the new TV show Vagina 911.
SNL.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, it's SNL.
A ballet dancer set a new world record for longest distance covered while performing a split on 2 moving ATVs, which also inspired the new TV show Vagina 911.
So a couple. By the way, how did she set a new record?
And what is the old record?
Correct.
Right.
Did you see the picture of that?
No.
I mean, to her credit, she's just doing the splits on the back of these, but it's just like I don't know why. Like I'm saying, like who set the original record? Was there a record even to be broken?
I don't know. I really don't know.
So last week we talked a lot about SNL and how Morgan Wallen was on there, and he didn't do the standard thing where you stand around at the end and say bye to people and everything. So basically, SNL, you know them. They kind of, and then of course he posted his private jet, said, "Get me back to God's country."
Yeah.
Obviously, he knows a little bit what he's doing. He's already made merch that says, "Get me back to God's country." Yeah. SNL still had some fun with it. I was going to say, in the cold open, the guy that's playing President Trump, I forget what the stat was, but he goes, "Get me back to God's, get me back to God's country."
So they had a picture up of McDonald's characters on a beach.
That's right, because he put a tariff on McDonald's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then the second time when during Weekend Update, Colin Jost joked that money's leaving the stock market faster than Morgan Wallen at Good Nights. So who knows? But yeah, they obviously were going to take a couple shots at it. It was pretty good. Also, like I thought it was a good episode. Jack Black, obviously a lot of singing because he likes to sing.
Yep.
But there were some good ones in there. And then some of the weird ones later in the shows, I was telling Throws, a really good one was just, hey, anybody come up to play? It's just a lot of bass players. So take what you want out of that. Now, over the weekend on Saturday, you did have the Final Four. First game, it was all right. Mm-hmm. Florida came out and just kind of dominated. The second game was great, though.
And it's over. A return to national prominence for the Gators. Florida will play for the national title. And what Todd Golden and the Gators will be looking for now is a championship.
They do the chop.
Oh,
championship. All right.
The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars. A furious comeback to knock advance to the national championship game.
Now, did you guys watch that Duke game?
I did not see anything.
All right. So I was at Buddy's house and, shout out whenever to our other buddy's place, Dino's Pub over there in Renton. So we're watching that second game.
With Men's Room IPA on draft.
Yes. There's a lot of people in there, right? And there's a decent amount of Duke fans.
Sure.
So me and my buddy, we're going to go watch F1 later. So Duke goes up, and I mean, a couple times people have called game. There's about a minute and a half left. We get our food to go. We're tabbing out. And at one point, I thought my buddy left to go back in there. And it's like, holy crap, there's still a chance. And then Houston pulls it off. The last second, that ball is going to Cooper Flagg. Mm-hmm. And it did. And he just leaves it on the front of the rim. And look, I know it's not Coach K coaching that program anymore. But Duke is just such a historic program and just known for fundamentals and this and that. It was just shocking to see them actually kind of blow that lead in the last minute of a game. Now, as a Maryland fan...
That's awesome.
Right. I once saw Jay Williams score 9 or 10 points by himself in a minute to beat the Terps at home. So I was like, this is turnaround's great. Screw them. But, just kind of a wild one. And then I'm glad to see they're not in the championship
Me too.
game.
I was going to say it makes tonight more interesting, doesn't it? Than just Duke again.
I would think so. I didn't realize that Houston, back in the day, they had Phi Slamma Jamma with Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon. I didn't realize that they never won a title.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I didn't either. But back to just basketball in general, or football in general. It's not that you hate the Chiefs. It's just like we have somebody else out there.
Yeah, that's all.
And they got their ass kicked. It's like the women's. Wow, Connecticut. Where did they come from? Out of nowhere? Like, I would just prefer to see a little bit of new blood on these games and make them, I don't know, I'm hoping someone else would be better than those teams, but they're not.
Yeah, I will say, I did watch yesterday also I got up early to watch Ovechkin score that goal, which was pretty cool see in person.
Very significant.
There's very few records that'll ever kind of stand for that long. The only thing I compare it to was seeing Cal Ripken break Lou Gehrig's record. But my buddy said...
see that coming.
Right, we knew it, right? Like,
you knew the date.
If you went to the games in Baltimore, they'd flip the sign. It wasn't like he was going to call out close to it.
Yeah.
So you saw, but this one, you had to pay attention and watch it. But
and credit to Ovechkin on one thing, man. He had the opportunity to break the record in a previous game, but it was an open net.
Right.
So he did not take the shot because he's like, dude, I'm not going to break the record on an open net, right? And I thought, that's the ultimate tribute to someone. Like, I'm going to beat
him to score that goal on a power play on a spot on ice that is like where he scores the bulk of his goals from. Yeah. Like everybody knows, like basically, if you score a goal from that spot on the ice, you could be like, oh, what are you, Ovechkin?
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. I did watch the women's NCAA championship game. You're right. UConn's historic, this and that. But it had been 10 years since they won a title.
Sure.
So I thought that was pretty cool to see, especially like Paige Beckers, who had been hurt in this, and the other girl, I forget her name, for them to come back. But did you see that ad that Nike ran right after that?
No.
Oh, my God. It was like for Husky dog food. And it was just like, all Huskies do is win championships. Like UConn, basketball, Nike. I was like, I don't even like UConn, but I'm getting kind of effing fired up for it.
I'll tell you what, it's weird. It's cool to see someone break a record that's been on the books for that long.
Andy did it in the same number of games that Gretzky got.
We never saw Luke Gehrig.
No.
We remember Wayne Gretzky, but I don't know how many games I saw him play. Maybe a few with the Kings, a few maybe with the Rangers, but not any.
Did he play?
Not any in Edmonton.
Right, he was right. He was famous for the Oilers and then the Kings.
Yeah,
Messier went over to the and won a title with the Rangers.
But we saw one in our lifetime that will need to be broken, and it won't be broken in our lifetime. And it's Tom Brady. Like we saw the guy set the record, not beat it, but still aggravating as F to watch him do that.
It was,
but
it really was.
Other than the Tampa win, but other than that, I mean, like that's a record that'll probably never be broken in our lifetime. I can't see that happening.
Well, right, and that's been a big conversation, right? Especially for Ovechkin, that just took so long.
You played the sport.
And to his credit, he's been on the same team the entire time. Like, I just don't know if we will see that again.
I would doubt it.
You know what I mean? And frankly, like with basketball, just with the 3-point line and how everybody scores, like, and look, I'm a LeBron apologist, but like him winning, like, or breaking the record for most points is like, yeah, you can see that coming.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I feel like that record will be broken again. Maybe home runs in a season might stick around, but like I would have a hard time seeing anybody break that record that Ovechkin set.
And more importantly, he won't fall out of a window.
I also just loved, I was showing Mike, man, they had like a private restaurant or whatever they rented out, and like he walks in with his wife and everybody's, hey, and like this woman that works there just walks straight up and hands him 2 bottles of beer. I said, he is, in the D.C. area, he is legendary for, I guess, going out, like drinking beers. Like, I don't think he goes out all the time, but when he does, if you run into him, he's supposed to be, it's like what you think drinking with a fun Russian would be like, right? It's like, yeah, get over here, do this, do that.
And Russians are known for being fun.
Right, not always, but yeah.
I tell you a joke now. You laugh.
We live on the West Coast, so obviously it's not that big of a deal for us. But I will say, I'll go blue in the face saying this when it comes to college sports. Like that national title game isn't going to tip off till almost 6 p.m. our time, right? Mm-hmm. That is 9 p.m. on the East Coast, right? Like, all right, maybe your kids are off for spring break or something.
Yeah,
but, like,
so. But you still might have to go to work.
Right, like, what if your son is a big Florida Gators basketball fan?
But so,
right, that game doesn't start till 9, so you have to sit up basically till midnight. Like, I know those games are only
back to the Monday Night Football rule.
But Monday Night Football at least starts at 8:15.
I know, but that was the one. That was the one night I could stay up late.
Right.
Other than the weekends, like,
you
okay,
can let them stay
you
up.
can watch Monday Night.
But I'm just saying, for kids, like sometimes you try to stay up, you go to sleep. I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's college. Like, it sucks for us out here on the West Coast. But started a little bit earlier. Let the kids watch the damn sport, Mike. Yeah. But yeah, national title game tonight. If you want to watch that, that's on. It's Houston and Florida over on CBS.
Thank you, Ted. Headlines are coming up. You're listening to the Men's Room.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed, yeah. A.K.A. You're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
We'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Walmart loses $20,000 in merch to the fastest man in all of Mexico. Meanwhile, a parachuter gets stuck on the roof of a stadium. That was not part of the show. Kids stuff their brother in a claw machine to steal some toys for them. After spending $1,000, Mans learns that his tarot readings, their abilities were slim. And an emo on the loose for a year, upset to be back in a cage. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my caught.
Our top story, we're going to Russia, where a group of kids were caught red-handed. Video has surfaced of the trio as they descended upon an arcade claw machine, but they had no intention of playing fair, Miles. The video shows as they surround the machine and proceed to stuff the youngest of the siblings into the prize door of the machine as he begins to drop stuffed animal after stuffed animal down the chute. This kid had to be like, 4 or 5 years old, something like that.
This is ingenuity. These are these kids problem solving.
Damn right.
It really is.
I mean, seriously.
They clear out the claw machine before successfully pulling little brother back out, and that's the feat.
Yeah,
the number of kids
trick.
that have been stuck inside these machines. They made their escape. Whether the thieving kids were caught remains a mystery, as well as if they're even looking for them, which I kind of agree with Miles. Like, all right, you guys figured it out.
Yeah.
You fooled us.
Time to drop stuffed animal out the window.
You grab that and give to me.
Hey, the fun of the game is trying to get it, though.
Right.
I'm an expert, so.
Hell yeah. That's why Ted promulgates it. He's the expert at it. That's something that you learn later on in life. It's like the fun of the whole thing is not the stuffed animal. It's a POS stuffed animal that they bought for $1.
Yeah, I have like 4 tiny stuffed animals in my house that I have nothing to do with, but I'm just obsessed with playing the game.
Exactly. Right, because you know you can get it. Doggone it, they need to tighten up those teeth, too. pisses me off every time I grab something that falls right out of it.
That's the idea, man.
I know, and it sucks. It's a bunch of garbage. In other news, a man in Florida is the latest to be arrested for stealing from the highest end of shopping centers, Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nicknamed Speedy Gonzalez for whatever reason, the man was caught, like so many others, manipulating the self-checkout stand. They're going to take... They're going to take this away if they keep on doing this crap.
Maybe that's why he's doing it.
Right?
I hate self-checkout.
You guys heard of the method that some are using called the banana method, in which they take the barcode, usually meant for bananas, they stick it over the barcodes of other items to get out by paying less. They're starting to check receipts at the door. So when they see that you bought 900 bananas and you just have a cart full of stuff, don't worry. They're going to catch it.
Oh, do you know what he was doing?
Oh, yeah.
He was buying waste containers with a lid, like the kind that you would press your foot down on, in the kitchen. He was just stuffing it full of whatever he could find.
And just scanning
and then
that.
scanning the garbage can full of stuff that he stole and stuffed in it.
Exactly. Which, honestly, I think that's a decent idea, other than the fact that I feel like everybody that buys a garbage can has the lid separate stuffed into the garbage can. Nobody has a closed garbage can coming out the door.
But if you're working security at Walmart, you're not really thinking about it. You're like, all right, dude, bought a trash can.
Exactly.
What's the big deal?
Just like Miles said, he was filling garbage cans and scanning the garbage can itself, and then walked out. But luckily, loss prevention not being born yesterday was able to capture him, and now he's been arrested.
I mean, sort of. He did it multiple times. They finally figured it out and saw him on video. But did you see what he was stealing?
No.
Like, what would you steal? Maybe, I don't know.
Electronics of some kind.
Games. Steaks, watches, jewelry. He was stealing, like, Nicorette gum, diabetes strips. Seriously. So, dude obviously had some health concerns. Yeah, so it was like Nicorette gum, diabetes strips, and maybe one thing that, like, a watch.
Sure.
But overwhelmingly...
It's not like the watches or Rolexes that they got there in the Walmart. They're like $15.
EKS, you know what I mean? But yeah, so he was stealing stuff I assume he needed. But still, it wasn't like high-dollar item.
At that point, just steal it, dude.
Put it in your pocket.
If you see somebody stealing food at a grocery store, it's like, okay, then,
they're probably hungry.
It makes sense, right? If you're stealing diabetes medication and Nicorette gum.
Yeah, we're like, he needs the diabetes pills, and obviously he's trying to quit smoking.
I'm not going to condone theft here, but I was like, you're going through a lot of trouble to get something that you just honestly, people might look the other way if you just pocket
it. Probably, dude, I don't smoke. I just like the taste.
Right. Sexy. He's just got the black market. Man, you need some Nicorette gum?
I got it.
Diabetes pills? I got them. You jonesing, dude? I got you. Sometimes grand displays don't go as planned, but go to the UK where a soccer game had to be delayed. To start Sale's Championship Cup match between Sale and Toulouse, they organized a parachuting in of the game ball using 3 skydivers. Luckily, 2 of the 3 were able to land just fine, and they did deliver the ball. The one with the ball did land, so it's all good. But the video is going viral of the 3rd member of the group who had a little snag, literally. As he descended into the stadium, he floated a little too close to the awning that covered spectators, and it snagged his chute, leaving him dangling above the crowd in the field. Did you see this video, Ted?
No.
Oh, God.
Just imagine.
Crews scrambled to grab a platform crane to reach him and get it back on the ground safely, but the match did need to be delayed for 40 minutes.
Keep in mind, the first thing they did before they got the cherry picker, he's hanging up there, and because it's a championship match going on, they had, I don't know, like family fun outside.
Oh, yeah.
They grabbed the bouncy castle that was outside.
Just jump, buddy.
Just in case. They put it under him.
It is a great video. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. To Florida, where a man's future betrayed him. He walked out to his car one day to see a flyer offering a tarot card reading for $20. What happened in the ensuing days was him going through the reading, being told that he needed a $700 spiritual cleansing, which led to her asking how much he had in his savings account, which should have been the red flag. But then she asked him to bring $3,000 of the $8,000 he had to his name to be used in a ritual, promising that it would be doubled and returned in the same day.
Come on.
You can imagine the rest. The ritual ended and the money had mysteriously disappeared, and she cut off communication with the man altogether. Police were called and the woman was arrested on fraud charges. Man... I mean, do the spirits care about money that much?
Where was this, Florida?
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay, look, what do we know?
Old people.
We know for a fact, if you want to get a good reading in life.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be from California.
California. That's where the legit ones are, dude.
California. Not Florida.
No.
Not first thing comes to mind.
Go to Florida.
Not Florida. Go to California.
Idiot.
Florida fortune teller.
Yeah.
One day you ain't gonna have sleeves on your shirt. You will drink a Busch Light tall boy. One of your friends fishes.
But just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
We go to New York, where an amorous bird is getting what she wants. Local authorities received multiple calls about a bird that was loose in the area, an emu that had been evading capture for some time.
Emu.
With no new reports of escape escaped emus. They determined that it was an emu that had never been captured after going missing last year, having survived the long winter on her own.
You'll never capture me.
Now that we're in mating season, it appears that the female emu had found herself at a local preserve safari, which houses male emus that drew her attention.
You like that, cloaca?
Animal authorities were able to capture the bird and take her into quarantine, as is required for all new entrants, and she will soon be released into the enclosure with the rest of the emus, where she can finally mingle with the males.
All those dude emus are like, come on, girl.
Come on, baby.
Was she hanging out outside of this? No way.
Yeah.
Huh.
She wanted to get laid.
I want in there, man.
Yeah.
Let me in. I want to see what that's all about.
Swingers Club.
Damn right. Men's Room Sports are brought to you by the fine folks at Sports on What. The Mariners suffered their first sweep over the weekend against the Giants, marking them 0-3 in series so far this season. Let's hope they bounce back in the next series as Houston comes to Seattle. So that's where we're going to go.
Did you hear the right fielder banging?
Polanco. Oh my God, dude.
Jesus.
That was a bad one. He got carted off the field.
I was like,
that's a hell of a catch. It was a hell of a save, but damn, dude. At what cost? What you got tonight? You got NBA basketball. The college championship hoops are winding down with another game tonight. Kraken hockey against the Kings, and Mariners baseball as the Astros are in town. To find out where and when to watch all those games in one convenient location, it is called the Sports on What app. As far as your weather, more clouds with periods of rain, bringing things down to a low of 46 tonight. Tomorrow's going to look a lot the same. Cloudy with bouts of rain in the earlier hours, clearing up in the afternoon, and setting the stage for some sunshine later on this week. That is it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time as we sit and spin. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Nerds!
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Want to travel like a savvy jet setter? No, that doesn't mean monogramming your passport. It means making smart decisions every step of your trip, which means knowing your options. Smart Travel unpacks the facts, like which booking sites actually save money, how to fly first class using points, and if that fancy travel card is a smart investment. All so you can save more on your next adventure. Follow Smart Travel from NerdWallet today and start traveling like a pro.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.